Went the wrong way.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for session 17 of Outrunners, a Starscape actual play here on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. You can find all the sessions of this game if you go to happyjacks.org/Starscape. And to find all the shows on the Happy Jacks Network, you can go to happyjacks.org. My name is Kimi, she, her. I am the GM of this game and also the designer of the system. So it's very exciting. And yeah, we have missed a few weeks, so it's been a minute. I had some health issues and I had pneumonia. Super not fun. I don't recommend. 0 out of 10. But we're back. And the cliffhanger that we left off on will finally be resolved. I've only been thinking about it since we left. All right, let's see. Let's start at this side.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm here to play Nolvath, who uses they, them pronouns, and is the unfamiliar playbook, which is exactly what it sounds like, very normal. They are this week's evidence that all things eventually turn into crab.
Real. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I'm back playing Rode Theolis, who uses the civilian playbook, who's just your average city planner who's never done anything wrong, never gotten in any trouble, never been, wanted by an entire culture. It's fine.
Didn't you kill a bunch of people?
I said never. Let me lie. Let me lie in public.
You have no chill. You have no chill, Alistair.
Speaking of, I'm Jason. I play Alistair Ward. We both use he, him pronouns. He's using the warrior playbook and is an ex-soldier now, has been disillusioned with his people's government, and is moving forward with a different kind of life. So we're mobile poor people now.
Yeah. Absolutely poor. I forgot. Rode also uses he, him pronouns, and also poor. Just as
a pronoun,
as a noun to describe
poor.
Himself.
You're self-identified as poor.
Yes.
Sorry. And there is a meeting in the works that I met with last time. We were going over the option of having Jonas officiate a very intimate meeting between Rode and Alistair.
Cultural meeting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of awkwardness in that proposal.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was fun. Hi everybody. I'm Jay and I'm playing Lieutenant Jonas P. Hurley. We both use he, him pronouns. I am playing the Hotshot playbook. And I crashed my brains. Last time, so I'm looking forward to see how that plays out. A brainless hotshot,
like any good hotshot.
Perfect, exactly right. It finally got there.
Head empty.
Life goals.
Mechanically head empty.
And hi everybody, I'm CADave. I'm going to be playing Lawrence Benson. It's finally cool enough again here in Los Angeles, so you get the full hair jacket combo. Kind of worried because I don't know what I have to negotiate with our friendly psychic aliens.
Yes.
Against the much less friendly other psychic aliens. So,
yes.
Troubles.
So to recap, and what we're all kind of alluding to, last episode was called Mind Games because there was a lot of telepathy stuff happening. We discovered that the elders of the Phigenians are basically like incredible telepaths that are controlling all their soldiers. So it's not like they just have these massive kind of clone armies. They are also literally being controlled by individual minds, which is why they are so effective in combat, despite also being just terrifying teeth monsters. So Lawrence is legit terrified when we find out that there are some in the system, because Avodi, our friendly squid pope hat NPC.
Okay.
The world.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's ready.
It's ready. It's here. Basically, it's like, hey, I've been like shielding everyone from these beings, and so these beings terrify Lawrence when he finds out that Alistair has some budding, tiny telepathic powers.
So talented.
So
I mean, I don't know my own
Talented.
strength. That strength is very small,
Yes.
but I don't know it.
the massive size of his talent.
Right.
Lawrence is legit terrified. He's like, please keep it under control. Like, don't let anyone know you're here. Then kind of like explains why all this is happening.
Sorry, I can't. I have a cursed telekinesis. Okay, end of. I can't.
Oh, wow.
That's it. I'm so sorry.
You got the slow up. I'm actually impressed.
Yeah.
Like legit, that was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was funny. I may or may not steal that for a book.
Yeah.
Okay. You mean your friend?
Your
Yeah.
friend.
It's my friend's book, yeah.
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 Is that the,
So-
the episode title now, actually?
I'm so sorry. I
Starting
couldn't.
strong, everyone.
It's
We
like,
missed each other.
it's like the ring. I had to like give it
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
to be free.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we don't see each other for a while. We miss each other and we kind of are off the rails.
Yeah.
But like through all that, we also had some moments where Jonas was, asked to officiate the wedding, or not wedding, arrangement,
The arrangements.
contract,
The contract.
the contract. I'm
signing,
sorry, don't want to upset you all. And also, Nolvath has metamorphosized,
Yeah.
changed, kind of evolved.
Evolved, yep.
Yeah, so now has taken on parts of the DNA of our friendly crab friends because they have these amazing exoskeletons that also have the color changing kind of communication abilities that are already part of Nolvath's people. So it's kind of a cool addition to the colony. If you'll remember back, the colony picks, they kind of don't evolve on their own, so they pick pieces of DNA, and that's why they send people out to bring cool things back. So it is now part of Nolvath's being and like and thing. And will you remind us how your appearance has changed, or if it has?
So last time during the episode, they were kind of like halfway finished, and we were looking at kind of like a soft shell crab situation.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
By now we're like full crab.
Okay.
So like they kind of at the joints, you get more like spiny bits, and at like some of the like protecting vital organs and stuff like that, it's more of an exoskeleton that they had before. And it still had the same like kind of pearlescent color scheme that they had before, and the color changing, and they can do the lights and stuff. But it's like it just looks more armory, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right. And the aforementioned kind of a cliffhanger ending. Lawrence had come to talk to Avodi about these beings being in the system and just general telepathy stuff. And Avodi revealed at the last minute, I've been shielding you all from these beings, and there's some stuff I want if you want to continue happening. And that's kind of the moment we ended on, with Avodi suddenly being like, I have some demands, / payment options for my services.
French benefits.
Yes. So, yeah, that's where we ended. Did I miss anything?
Other than the absorbent amounts of hats, both in studio and in narrative, that we had last time.
There were a lot of hats.
It's if you're a podcast listener, it's worth it just to go check out the YouTube for just a minute, just to see the squid pope hats and the tricorns and the top hats and all the things that happened last time, just for fun.
Yeah.
Also, just heads up, I do still have a little bit of a lingering cough from my pneumonia. I've talked to everyone in the studio. I have tested. There's nothing that they can catch. But once you get pneumonia, your lungs take a little while to clear out. So I apologize in advance, especially to those listeners at home. David, California David is doing his best on the
California David.
Holy
So formal.
California David.
First off, it freaked me out a little bit that you gave my whole name to start with.
Yes.
And then you went back and made it more normal.
weird, yeah.
No.
No, it's just because of the monumental task you have before you of muting the
Yep.
mic every time I call.
I'm attempting.
I know,
I'm
you're
just
doing
like
great.
keeping a hand ready to go.
You're doing fantastic. Whatever you do is better than it would have been, and I appreciate the effort. We all appreciate the effort. Those at home also do. So anyway, just heads up, I apologize in advance, especially to our wonderful podcast listeners. All
And
right.
again, don't get pneumonia.
Don't get pneumonia.
Not recommended.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. Teaching preschool. It has, yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway,
That's how they get you.
it does. There were a couple of them went down with it. Like,
Oh,
because
God.
pneumonia is like, can
Yeah.
be passed around. Like, one of them had to go to hospital. Not in my class, but in another one. But I have just terrible lungs, so. Anyway,
Jeez.
Here we are.
here we are.
We're all here in space.
Space. This is space, everyone. Welcome to space. So while you were talking with Avodi,
Yes.
I want to cut to what was happening in other places, and then we're going to cut back to that cliffhanger moment, just so we kind of get in the vibe before we have that, like, important beat. Do people remember where they were?
That's a great question.
Well, I mean, outside of that conversation, I don't know that I was instantiated in a location.
Okay.
Yeah, we just transported Ivodi back to the biodome.
Yeah.
And then I think you were probably getting ready for the big surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, oh, maybe we should wrap this up before things get wild.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think I'd be doing research on what Pyronan prepare food-wise for events like that.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Because I said I'd prepare, I'd handle the meal. So
Yeah.
you've already got plenty to think of.
And I've sent you a message that says, get dressed up for something in an hour. Don't ask why.
Ooh.
Just something? Question mark, question mark.
Get dressed up.
How formal.
Mm.
Formal.
Ooh. Well, that's what Rhode's doing.
Now, Alistair, when you say formal,
Mm-hmm.
what is formal?
Oh, Alistair's made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like, Alistair is thinking, like, oh, I'm going to wear my military dress uniform.
That is
and-
formal.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, he's not going to wear his military dress because he does not ascribe to that military anymore. But he has that is his sense of, like, oh, this is formal.
Class A's.
I'll wear, I'll wear this, nice outfit. He's not aware that, like, black tie, white glove is a thing. There's
Yeah.
It's well, you're thinking like put on a nice suit,
yeah.
but I'm sure Rode is like, is it black tie or is it white tie?
Yeah.
There are
Do I need the tails? Do I-
descriptions
Like-
of formal dress that involve needing dressers in Pyronan culture.
Right.
Yeah. That's how far this is going.
Yeah, I was on the level of the dressers. I never had dressers of my own.
Yeah.
So that it probably wouldn't occur to me that that's a level. So yeah,
He's recently poor. He hasn't sold all of his clothes yet.
yeah. Your not entourage of clothes. What am I trying to say?
Wardrobe?
Wardrobe. Yeah, is not depleted yet. We may have
Nope.
to sell some of it for
Sell some of the hats. There's so many of
for
them.
for drink money.
So we only have an hour?
Well, no, I was just like.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Like after you were done with whatever preparations.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
done.
Like
Okay,
we've
gotcha.
done. I've set up a time, right, and we can make that sort of a plot appropriate time.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the point was, I'm not giving Rode too much time
Sure.
to get ready.
No, because there's no manicurists. There's no hairstylists. No. One makes do.
All right. So you're prepping there.
Yeah.
How are you prepping?
You know what? So, I had researched, what kind of food to prepare for this formal occasion, this sort of formal, intimate occasion, and I'll work on making that. Not the super fancy stuff because I don't think we quite have the resources for it. But something appropriate that's not quite as elaborate. And then I go into my my locker in the garage and I pull out my dress uniform and I get that all nicely pressed. And then it occurs to me, Nolvath, you're gonna be there, right? Were you gonna be there too? Was it? Or
I don't think they were specifically invited.
Okay, all right.
So
Because I remember you were asking about the paperwork too. So I guess you know what, Jason, that's gonna be up to you. Is it just gonna be specifically Rode, Alistair, and Jonas?
Well, that's what it would normally be.
Okay,
it's
all
the
right.
two people and the barrister.
Okay,
but,
all right.
It's probably more fun if if we can finagle this a little bit. Maybe Jonas doesn't realize that's what it's supposed to be, and you're like,
Sure.
"Oh, this is like a wedding. I should let everybody know."
Oh, okay, sure.
And
all
then
right.
we're like, "Well, okay, I guess we're gonna do this in front of everybody."
Sure, if you're good with that.
Is that all right with you? It was a fun thing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you can.
Out of character.
Yeah, no, I'm totally square.
Okay,
I'm doing research.
I am too.
Because
Looking up outfits.
after like I get my dress uniform ready, it occurs to me that you might not know like the formalities of these kinds of events.
right. They also because Alistair didn't specifically say you can be there.
Yeah.
They operate on vampire rules. You have to specifically
Sure,
invite
be
them.
invited, sure.
Oh,
If we're going by the whole like I kind of spread the word, I'll pay you a visit.
Mhm.
Where are you in this? Like, are you back in your
No, I think they're probably on the bridge actually. Now that they have crab enhanced themselves.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to get deeper administrative access into the ship.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'll seek you out. I find you on the bridge and say, "Oh, hey, Nolvath.
Yes.
Did I catch you in the middle of something?"
No. Nothing we can't finish later.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, I was just thinking, I'm gonna be rather dressed up for the event that Alistair had asked us to go to. Do you have anything equating to that in your culture?
No.
Fancy adornment.
We've never had much time for formal occasions, given the necessity of focusing on survival most of the
course.
time.
Well,
What would traditionally be worn?
I was thinking, well, it depends. You would wear something fashionable, something of a stylish cut. I'll be wearing my dress uniform myself. But I was thinking if you did not have anything, perhaps I could paint something on your figure.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I have a few traditional patterns that I can adorn you with, various places as you would like. I would very much like to do that for you.
We would like that. Thank you, Jonas.
Okay. And then I think for the rest of the time I'll spend I'll invite you to the garage actually. That's where
Okay.
like pigments are and stuff that I can use to decorate you. And I'll just start painting like these geometric patterns that kind of match the patterns on my dress uniform.
Oh, cool.
On
I love that.
I suppose I should probably notify Lawrence as well then if the gang's all gonna be there. Okay. I think I don't know where you are at this point, but I think I'll send you a message saying, Lawrence, we're planning something special or Alistair has something special planned for Road. I'll give you sort of like the time and the place.
Okay.
And say, dress as fancy as you can. Like whatever that
you-
means for
yeah,
convenience.
You're trained as a human infiltrator, right?
Right, I'm aware.
Sure, sure, yeah, yeah.
No. I was just thinking in my head.
Yeah,
that's all. Well,
You have more
I'm
context for it than
they do. Yeah, for sure. Well, I think you'd probably just get back like an acknowledgement.
Sure.
Like,
Okay. Heard.
Yeah, message acknowledged.
Yeah.
Kind of message, because I'm still kind of hanging fire with the Voti,
Yeah.
and that's more my concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because I certainly don't want to be a wedding guest that gets possessed and tries to kill everybody. So,
Yep.
Red wedding what?
Hey.
I think while Jonas is painting them, Nolvath would also ask you questions about, like, what does one do at a wedding? Do we observe? Are we expected to participate? Do we bring something?
Well, to be completely honest, this is the first time I have attended a Pyronin function such as this. So
Oh.
I myself will have a function that I'll be filling. I shall be filling. I believe you can simply observe.
They do tend to be rather detail-oriented. We assume they would let us know if we were expected to do something.
I kind of lean in and I put my forehead on yours, trying to like remember the moment. I remember how I can't even remember how many shades of red Alistair turned when he was asking me to do this for him. I think it's going to be an interesting thing.
That was quite amusing. We are looking forward to this.
I haven't seen anyone change that many colors since you.
Oh, should we bring Tavrock?
I think that would be a lovely idea.
Excellent.
Yeah, sure. I think that sounds wonderful. I think everybody should be part of it. Love
Off to get the tiny crab.
Awesome. So while all of this
it. Ooh, does Tavrock want to
lovely-
get painted too?
Yes! Ooh, paint the skull!
The skull, yeah. Okay, all
Yes.
right, yeah. We'll deck Tavrock
Our
up
crab
too.
child.
We'll deck Tavrock up.
Yes, so good. All right, so now while all this like charming, kind of heartwarming, wholesome stuff is happening on,
Yeah.
blackmail.
No.
Boy,
Yes.
boy.
Yes. Dave, yes.
Nolvath's I told you so sense is tingling, and they don't know why.
All right, so in the midst of all this is happening parallel to that conversation that we had last time. So we're gonna kind of pick up right on Evodi saying, I have some requests.
I love the hat so much, but it really makes this hard.
It's my favorite. I'm obsessed with this hat.
And that's what happens when you have a kid who goes to the aquarium.
Is there a word for like I love it and it's upsetting?
I'm sure that there is in
like,
German.
It feels it has to be in German. Because that's how I feel. Like I genuinely love it and it's a little unsettling.
It is. Yes. All right, we don't have to.
No, please don't take it off.
Hat.
Hat.
All right.
Rock hand.
And I lost. We lost Dave.
No. It was the chant. It was the chant that really got me.
All right. So I have some requests.
And what do you seek?
I would like to become a share in this vessel. You have a collective who rule through agreements. Seems super weird and foreign to them. Like, what? And I would like to have a say in how things are run here. I would also like your agreement that no more of the Anarans will be awoken.
Well, our intention was never to pirate this vessel away from whatever Anarans remain.
It wasn't?
No, in fact, we were unaware of them when we arrived. Out of the thousands of cryopods that were still on board, there are a precious few that still have anyone alive inside. And when we discovered that, which is shortly before we discovered you on board, we had no intention of just ejecting them off into space to disappear into the darkness. Our intention is to eventually, when we get to a point where things have settled and are safe, finding a place for them to continue existing.
Yes, but the honorable thing would have been to awaken them and return their vessel to them. And that was not the course that you or any of your compatriots chose.
Well, that's not necessarily true. You see, before we met you, we had awoken an Anaran, and we spoke with them in depth, and they had asked us to continue finding a place for the rest of their people.
And you did not think that awakening the other Anarans to be masters of their own destiny and finding their own planet was a wise course?
It's been a bit hectic.
Yes.
We honestly haven't had a safe place or time to consider doing that. Especially with how long many of them have been in stasis. We don't want to awaken them in a situation that puts them in more danger, in addition to the medical danger they already will experience.
I just thought you were enjoying their ship.
It's given us refuge, and we feel like we owe them enough to do this for them.
I see.
So I can already tell you that never wakening them is a non-starter.
I didn't say never. Just not at this current time. Which it sounds it wasn't in your plans anyway. So perhaps we are aligned in this desire.
I can agree with that. I would also happily try and help you find a place to be. I don't know if there are any more of your kind out there.
There should be some others on the ship.
I see. We haven't encountered them yet, but I'm sure we can arrange to search more thoroughly when we're not in grave danger.
Yes. I would also like for the alarms to be deactivated so that I may move about the ship without being locked down every single time I take a step out of a room.
I can understand that.
They're very reasonable requests.
I don't disagree with you. But as you know, our policy is to discuss things as a group and come to a consensus. We are egalitarian in that way. So I'm happy to take these requests to the rest of the group if you can give us time to do so.
For a moment, he gets very still, or they get very still. And for just a moment, you hear a very familiar, echo in your mind of just the lightest touch of, the Phagenians, control just kind of brush up against your mind for just a second. And then it's, poof, gone again, like something slammed, like a sunroof closed over you. I have been very patient.
I understand. And I ask for just a bit more.
Please take my requests as seriously as I hope you understand the situation requires.
Oh, indeed.
And it seems we are off to a lovely accord. I look forward to being part of your crew. And you get the weirdest sense they're smiling under all the tentacles. And it's sort of creepy, but also
That does really.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're Virginia, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, externally, 100%.
Yeah.
Lawrence is yes, of course, I'll take this to everyone, and
Yeah.
Cool. Internally, Lawrence is like, I don't deal with threats.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
Yep. So what do you do? You just
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just go. Yeah. Head back to my quarters
okay.
since I have to get ready.
Yeah. Cool.
And then I'll wait until after, in the reception to bring up.
The contract negotiation reception.
Yes.
Of course. To bring that whole situation up.
Okay, perfect. All right. So seems like this is our focus right now. So what is the so it's been, we'll say, the appropriate number of hours, is a dramatically appropriate length of time to prepare for weddings. We've had like the montage of everyone like getting ready and Road being very clearly much fancier than poor Alistair.
So fancy.
So fancy. Like reinventing the idea of fancy is what
Yes.
Road's doing.
I don't even have headwear.
Oh, what? Wow. Okay. So please walk us through how does this start and where exactly is this taking place?
Let's see. We should probably. Well, I thought about maybe the shuttle, but it's like one of the nicest spaces that we have.
Mhm.
Unless we have anything else that could be.
Yeah, that lovely little observation deck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
observation
looking
deck.
out into space.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, there is in the observation deck, I've set up like a table and 3 chairs, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that I could have found like a folding screen
Oh,
okay.
please. Road probably has like 3 on board.
Right. So I brought a table and chairs and a folding screen that would go between the table and the entrance to the observation deck. Except everyone's going to be on the other side of the screen anyway. But anyway, it's the illusion of privacy, but also the beautiful view of, looking out at the stars. Alistair, I think, has this sort of, since it's not his dress blues or anything, he's got this like wrap tunic suit thing, like sari kimono sort of like but with a like pants situation and really nice shoes. But that's his idea, very dressed up. I want to go more elaborate than that, but yeah. So it is like a jacket and a shirt, and it's got a belt on.
Wow. A belt.
Like my heart, I want to go so hard into this, and I can't. So yeah, that's what I'm picturing, is this sort of like wrap suit thing.
Oh, okay.
Basically the same thing that Rhode's wearing.
Yeah.
Basically. How do you tell Road to arrive there specifically?
Just that I just wanted us to set aside some time for us, and we never get to dress up anymore, so I want to dress up, and also bring your A-level folder. Which would be like,
that's
such a giveaway.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
But
here.
like, you can't not, like, I'm not gonna get it and bring it.
Nope.
Like, that would be weird.
Yep.
But at the last minute, I'm like,
Don't have a valet to get
Right.
it for me.
Right. But it would be like at the last minute, because we're also sort of getting ready together.
Kind of.
Yeah. Like,
Kind of. Road has sequestered himself.
yeah. But yeah, at the very last minute, Alistair's like, and bring your folder.
Oh. Well then. I'm glad I'm dressed for the occasion. And then you hear just a series of like digital locks and all sorts of like, this is a fire cabinet to end all fire cabinets that this is kept in. And it's like at the bottom of one of his many trunks that are all open because he's been going through all of his clothes. And yeah.
I'm picturing these as like actual paper documents.
Oh, yes.
That all of us carry around like something. I've got this folio thing that it's just his military issue one, and it is literally bulletproof and fireproof or whatever, but mine's just like a little like Ziploc, like that's what I travel around with because one, you wouldn't go anywhere without your folder. But it's a folder ceremony.
Yeah. We're bringing our portfolios to the table.
Yeah.
Romantic.
Well, do we go together or do I meet you there?
It's probably me there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go make sure
I hear
everything
it's
is
bad luck to see
set
each
up.
other's portfolios.
Yeah.
Before
Real.
the meeting.
Yeah.
Real. Then I guess you would hear, everyone would hear, the heavy sound of woodblock heels through our ship that is probably not made for woodblock heels.
Nope.
And in the still kind of working door, because it is that door.
Yeah. Look, it closes so good.
It closes so good. Appears a full like trim shoulders, but then everything else is just volumes of fabric as Rode enters wearing the middle between like Louis XIV casual wear, which is still absurd.
Yeah.
Thranduil from Mirkwood. And like right before the Second French Revolution fop.
Sure. Yeah.
So like buttoned up, big, beautiful high collar, all in like peacock colors. So like the teal in the middle, and then it just like gradiates out in this beautiful brocade that goes all the way down to these long draped sleeves that turn up into big, long, beautiful sections of silk. He has huge flowing, like what is like a kurta on Alistair is like a full length gown with slits just for the legs. Like in like all sorts of layers of color, and you're not even sure like if it's all one garment, if it's like 6 garments, all just kind of spilling out, but it's trim, and like Rhoda's like built like a stick, right? So he's just straight up and down, and then like from maybe like the middle of his thighs downward is just like volumes of fabric that pool on the ground as he comes in the most expensive outfit any of you have ever seen him in. And he has his short cut hair has been done up, so he's been wandering around as Felix Ty, just a regular prospector. So this is the polar opposite of that, where his hair was pulled back for Felix and it was all understated, and he just got like, oh, my feathers are a little short right now. Instead, there's like this hair piece that kind of hair he does have is like braided into it that goes into these two like almost like bird crests on either, like on both sides of his head. They're not like really tall, but they're tall enough that it's like almost victory rolls. And they're like curled, and then there's little like jewels that go through it. And under his arm, he is carrying a very understated gray metal case.
Ah, nice.
Oh, there's a lot of people here.
Quick aside, I was talking to my hairdresser. I was like, what if my mohawk could be a victory roll?
Yeah.
And she was like, let's do it.
Yeah, done. Yes.
We're almost there. So quick, I just want to set this up a little bit. So Alistair got here first. There's all these people here, 3. And
That's a
Tamrock.
lot.
And
Yeah.
And Tamrock.
Yeah. It does not have the heart to tell people to go away, And so it's like, oh, thank you for coming. I didn't know everyone would come. Thank you. Okay, and he has this, sort of plasticky, like plasteel, right? Like it's this synthetic steel, extremely durable binder. And says, okay, well, I'm sure he'll be here in a minute. Oh, I hear
Click,
woodblock
click,
heels.
click,
Okay, so I'm gonna I'll bring him in.
Where do you want me?
Just at the table, please.
You
Yeah.
got it.
And then we'll sit on either side of you, and you'll face the screen, and then we'll be on either side. And then if you two want to just, it's nice of you to be here. Thank you. Just maybe explain what they'll be witnessing.
Well, Nolvath knows. I haven't explained to Lawrence, but I shall do my
I
best.
just don't want him to be shocked.
I think he's going to be all right.
And I head over to the door. I think I put my folio down on the table. I come back and I'm like, okay, so I didn't know Jonas is here to help.
Oh.
Also, Nolvath and Lawrence came, which I didn't know that they were coming, but we could do this another time if you want, or
It is a small ship. I have no secrets that I am unwilling to divulge within the reasonable limitations.
okay.
But promise me you won't be surprised.
Surprise.
Why don't we go sit?
Okay.
And while the two of you are out, I'll, turn to you, Lawrence, and I'll say, Lawrence, I don't know if you picked up on how nervous or jittery Alistair is.
I can understand.
You're going to be seeing a lot of people. And apparently this is very important paperwork for Alistair and Rome.
Torn hub.
You're on a roll tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Just
With dumb sex puns.
do your best to treat this event with some deference and the best of your respect.
Of course.
Have
And-
fun.
I will cover Tavrock's eye stalks if the paperwork becomes too much.
Boy. I'm sure Alistair will appreciate it.
Oh my god.
I think before they come back in, like I go over and I take spot right next to the door, like formal guard.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like I get over next to the door and you kind of see like height goes up by like 3 inches. Obviously, like locked my legs into place, and I'm just standing there like staring dead ahead. Like
So what does your formal
Yeah, what's
outfit
this
look
formal
like?
wear?
Yeah.
all
What is
right,
this formal wear that
I'll
you-
show everyone because James was nice enough to link it, so it's very easy. So
Ooh.
it's very much that, but it's sort of like
You gotta describe it.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
podcast.
I will. I'm getting there. So it's like a formal long coat with a white turtleneck sort of look to it. It is bulged out a little bit because if you took time to really notice, you would see that he's still wearing his normal space suit underneath. But instead of like in the imagery, and this is based off of Gary Oldman did a runway show for Prada back in 2012.
Awesome. It was
It
all
was
like
such a
every
good-
villain
yeah.
actor you can imagine in
Yeah.
full product.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it was so
we don't
good.
deserve Gary Oldman.
But
So
down like where in the actual image, if you Google it, you'll see that he's got a pair of like red glasses and a couple other accoutrements attached to the jacket. Instead of that, it's like the ribbon board
Yeah.
in the military, but it goes from there over and down the sleeve.
Cool.
But it's like a pulsating sort of light show that goes down the sleeve, and it's like rotates through like every successful campaign that a Phagenian has survived. They get a different color splash
Oh wow.
that adds to this thing. So like the more colors that you see going, the more this particular Phagenian has lived. Because we don't really look older or younger. We're all
Right.
just kind of the same. So it's kind of a
not many die of old age.
right, and so if you see a Phagenian that has more than like 3 colors, that's kind of a big deal. And Lawrence has like a bunch.
Wow.
It's like a whole coruscating rainbow effect
Cool.
going down his arm.
Neat.
Love that.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna just lead Road around
Yeah.
the screen and pull your chair out for you, and what's Jonas wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wearing the dress uniform of my corps. So
All right.
it's a very like fitted long coat over, like a dark blue long coat over a pair of dark blue pants. I've actually got like flared boots that go up to the knee.
Oh,
And I'm gonna say that there's like a darker blue on the shoulders with what look like copper bands
Oh yeah.
that kind of trace along the shoulders and have like little plates tracing down the sleeves all the way to like a little copper collar. What you do notice, there is the same thing. There's like a place for decoration, right? For military decoration. There is obviously a spot where there should have been decoration there, but it's been like pulled off, like the seams have been ripped off, and like that decoration has been taken out. And I've kind of like cleaned it up as best as I can, but it's very obvious that there's a bare spot there.
okay. And what, you were painted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nolvath is painted. It matches Jonas's.
Yeah, I got like this sort of like
Oh.
geometric embroidered patterns on the outfit, and I've painted the same pattern on Nolvath, and I think the same pattern on Tavrock's
And
skull
Tavrock's
shell. as
skull
well.
shell, yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
I think Nolvath has like, aside from the paint, which obviously can't camouflage, like they've positioned themselves near the observation window and like space camouflage themselves, so
Terrifying.
you can only see the pattern.
Yeah. Like Invisible Man
awesome.
puts
Yeah.
on a suit.
My eyes are glitching.
To give you guys more privacy.
Yeah, the illusion of privacy. Yeah. That's
No
great.
existential fear, just privacy.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just gonna sit down across the table.
Oh.
Sort of like a spiel. Just, my dear friends, we have gathered here today to witness the contract negotiations between Alistair Ward and Rod Theolis.
I always tear up at when.
Road has so many names.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
You probably
darn
have it all.
I probably have
Yeah,
it
like
all
I wrote
written
it all down
Yeah,
for you.
I write it down, and you see it like
I had it.
you know, I have my little wrist panel thing.
Oh, here it is.
I,
Post-it
I
note.
actually put it up as a little hologram, and I'm kind of like scrolling through it. Alistair Ward and Rod Theolis, 17th son of Ilaria Theolis, High Mother of House Theolis, High Administrator of Cinder Falls of Pyronus 4.
That is true.
So we don't necessarily have to turn every page of this, but the documents are like your like birth records and your financial records and all that
something-
kind of stuff.
Out of the ordinary of a normal Pyronin contract negotiation happens the moment Rode opens his folio.
Mm.
There are 3 pieces of paper in it.
Huh.
He opens it up. He pulls out a ship ownership document for the shuttle. His title and license as a prospector under his legal name. And the last documented printed communication with his mother. And that's it.
Wow. That's
And
not
he-
what I was expecting.
Slides it across the table. This is it.
I thank you for. I mean, this is like out of character. Just like
Yeah.
laid bare. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is like extreme. But Alistair says, opens his own. And he has like maybe 10 pieces of. It's like
Yeah.
a more normal sized document, but
Rhodes should have a piece of paper for almost every word in that title.
Yeah.
And like a long sheet that like folds out into a very elaborate family tree and documentation, and he has none of it.
The most notable part of what Alistair has brought in the folio is the actual contract, which he explains he is. Well, I'll just. I present the proffered contract, and as is tradition with my line of people, it's from the bark of the tree that calcifies itself. And so that's actually the 80% of the thickness of his folio was this thick piece of flat bark, you know? But then embossed into it or is the silver lettering. It looks silvery. I've used this bark and I melted down the symbol of my position as a gesture of the permanence of my leaving the Pyronan government, and used it to emboss the lettering of this inlay. So it's actually the letters pretty fine. Like it's a lot.
It's a contract.
Yeah. There's a lot to fit on there. And there's like a digital version that's easy to look through, but Alistair has taken the big swing, the big romantic gesture of suggesting a 1,000-year contract, which we talked about last time a little bit. A normal contract is like 50, like 100 years is a normal romantic gesture of like, wow, we're actually in love and we want to like spend 100 years together. And then the bards and the songs and the ridiculous rom-coms and whatever are the like, ooh, 1,000-year contract. Everybody's like, why?
Don't be ridiculous.
Just renew it 10 times.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, he has taken that and made that into the contract.
Rode spends no time looking over Alistair's formal papers of title and lineage.
It's very short.
And you would think someone who loves contracts and negotiations and like this is in his blood. I mean, he was willing to turn negotiations with the denizens of this region into a blood sport. He skims the contract, not because it's not beautiful, but because the rest of it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to the 1,000 years, and his finger stops on it. With all of this, you still want 1,000 years?
Call me an optimist.
I have no title, no name to speak of, not really.
Neither do I. But I thought maybe we could spend a millennium making a new name. Our name.
Reforging.
Yes.
I hope you don't think it obscene to add something.
No, of course not. That's normal.
People in time change.
Of course.
But I would rather call you home for the rest of my life than the names my mother gave me.
That's all I wanted.
I am keeping the shuttle though. And he pulls out a pen. And this pen is matching his outfit, just ostentatious and beautiful. I think inside, in the middle of a inkwell that has been wrapped around it, is a feather preserved in some sort of clear material that Alistair, you would know to be like a feather gifted to him from his ancestors. Like this is a family pen.
Right. Like wearing your grandma's dress.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And he like twists a capsule and ink is released inside. It's so precious that like they don't let ink sit in this pen.
Yeah.
And it is only used for very formal occasions. And the Pyronans know how to make ink for literally any surface, because that's the kind of people they are.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little stretch for Alistair to melt down this titanium and write with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. We make ink out of weird stuff.
And with this pen, you hear the capsule break, and inside is teal ink. Alistair, you would know that like one of the noted like things that most of Rhodes' family has in common, because you've met siblings and things like that, they are all these beautiful teal feathers run in the family.
Yeah.
And so the teal ink breaks into the vial. And Rhode signs it and says, Rhode Ward the First.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that just leaves Alistair like gobsmacked for a minute. You know, like it hadn't ever occurred. Like I just thought we were gonna have two, like your name's this long and my name's this long, and that's fine. I think it's that moment, you know, where the like somebody proposes and the person's so excited they forget to say yes. Yeah. Alistair's just like, this is great. And they're like, oh, I have to sign. And he has some of that molten titanium in a little like cooker that was, you know, sitting here for
everyone's ink pot boils, right?
Right. You know, a special little device that he has to you know, I think maybe it's like a paintbrush type of thing.
Yeah.
Like that super tiny miniature painting.
Somewhere between a mini paintbrush and a soldering iron.
Right.
Yeah.
The most dangerous signature.
Yeah.
Don't fuck this one up.
At what, like 2,500 C or something?
Yeah.
To melt.
Yeah. That's why it had to be this like iron bark situation. And paints his signature on there as Alistair Ward. I think he was like hovers over first. It was like, oh no.
No.
I can't put that on there. But yeah, I think that's the document.
Yeah. Rhodes does put the shuttle title back into the case. And then stands up, and not standing on ceremony, walks up to Alistair, grabs him by the front of his shirt, and if it's all right, gives him the biggest kiss.
Right in front of everyone.
Right in front of everyone.
Actually, that's less embarrassing than the paperwork.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fine.
And I think that's for the first time you can feel like there is still like fear, but it's entirely covered by joy, with Rhodes' hands shaking. But this is so much better than pulling out the papers and showing everyone, even though it doesn't matter to anybody else on the ship, that he has nothing because he ran away from home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Alistair like picks up in that, you know, there's like a lot of kissing happening.
Yeah, lots of fabric, lots of kissing.
Yes.
Backed by the stars. And invisible Nolvath.
Yeah.
I totally look at everybody else like, and then do like the awkward clap.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, you know what? As you like embrace one another, I go over to a panel on the table and I flick it on, and like string quartet of pop music like starts to play throughout the
Amazing, incredible.
Great.
throughout the observation deck. And then Nolvath, I see your pattern, so I go over to where you are, and I kind of like just stretch out my arm to see if we can go arm in arm.
Yeah.
An orchestral
You'll have, like-
version of Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking
Yeah,
ball,
accurate.
sure,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
yeah.
I think when you come over, Nolvath has seen Lawrence and is like, "Oh, we're clapping," and so they're clapping, and Tavrock.
Tiny castanets.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
The other legs are also like.
Yeah.
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 And then I'll invite everybody down to the galley where I prepared. Or actually, do I bring the stuff up here?
Well, I mean, it's probably better if we head down there.
Okay, all right.
Like,
I'll updeck the galley.
because the galley could like keep things cold or hot or whatever.
yeah.
You know.
Invite everybody over to for the reception.
And I had given you the impression this ceremony could take an hour or more.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Like just observing documents.
Right.
Yeah. I was ready to just like start poring over things.
yeah, the fact that it took 15 minutes was, yeah.
Before we all leave the room, though, like Lawrence walks over and he passes over a little tiny piece of paper that he scribbled on to Rhodes.
Oh, sure.
That you can add it to your collection of papers. And then turns to Alistair and like holds out his hand like to shake
Yeah.
and squeezes your palm.
Uh-huh.
And then you feel like ooze, like ickiness. And
Okay.
he takes his hand away and you've got the yellow color paintball splat.
Iconic.
Wow.
I think that's 3 for Alistair.
No, it's 2. That's
Is it
Yeah,
2?
just
Okay, I
two,
couldn't
yeah.
remember. Wow.
And then he formally turns, like clicks heels and walks towards the galley.
Alistair just cracks up like, look, he got me. Like, this is the best.
Rode has to like look back because he has slipped that piece of paper into his folio. There are now 4 pieces of paper in there.
Oh, boy. Okay. I like it. Okay.
All right, party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
There's food and drink.
enjoy the rest of the day. You know, like
And a
Drinking
bossy
pink
Odie
dinner.
to deal with.
Yeah. I'd wait until everybody has a meal and then
Yeah.
bring up Avodi's demands.
Who made the meal that we talked about?
oh, I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who knows how to cook food.
Oh, exciting.
I need to roll for that.
Nah, it's
Did
all
some research into traditional Pyronan dishes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Lots of millet.
Yeah.
Just by the spoon.
Why not? No.
Watching birds eat millet is so funny. Anyways, that's my funny
true.
sidebar.
That's true.
all right. So you've had your nice meal. You've done some hanging out, partying. As they said in chat, shellac for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Curse.
I'll share them. I'll share that.
If
like a
any of that
glass with you
shellac
when
comes
I
out,
was
Road is like, get that away from my contract
there. Okay,
negotiation.
never mind. Yeah, then I I'm about to pull it out, and then I
No, you put that back.
put it back away.
I have a case of wine ready to go for such an occasion.
You probably get like an elbow, like
Okay, I'll pour a little in a
Yeah.
couple of like little.
right.
curse.
So nasty.
Gross.
I love it. I mean, you could look at it the other way of like, they were polishing their shells with what we consider vodka. You know? Like,
I mean, people do
maybe
other
that's
things
what it was.
with
Yeah,
distilled.
Like, you know,
Maybe that's what
it's
it
like
was.
spraying 50-50 over some.
Yeah, yeah,
A rack of coffee.
yeah, Everclear. It's, you know,
That's what moonshine's for, right? It's
Yeah.
the shine part.
Yeah.
It's
the degreaser and, you know, emphasis on the shine.
Multi-purpose.
Sam, were you going to bring it up, or should we move on to another time?
No, like I'll totally bring it up. Like
Okay.
after there's been significant, like enough time that everybody gets to celebrate.
Yeah.
Right. Like Lawrence isn't completely
Yeah, I can read that
tactless.
still.
But he's probably like as the meal finishes and everybody's had a time to celebrate and be all smiles and happiness. I I think he even does the like clinks a glass kind of thing, and looks at everyone and says, I hate to intrude on your feelings of elation, but shortly before your ceremony, I was called by Evodi, who has made some requests.
Oh, what now?
It seems that Evodi has been what is standing between all of us and being discovered by my people in this system. And they have wisely chosen this moment to try to negotiate for rights to join our crew as a participating member of the discussion when we come to consensus. It's taken them a while to really grasp how we've operated as a group. But
You notice at this point that the color of Nolvath's skin is basically whatever color you would imagine the noise from Kill Bill is.
Uh-huh.
oh,
But
Red
it's on-
warning siren.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to just be strobing yellow, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
In between the pattern.
yeah.
Like, absolutely
under the
fucking
paint.
not.
Yeah.
Paint's flaking off. Like, I'm out of here.
And they have requested that we continue on our course of keeping the Inarans asleep for the time being.
Well, we were already going to do that.
That's what I said when this came up.
Why do they care?
Well, they were imprisoned.
Sure, of course.
They also have requested free access to the rest of the ship
Absolutely not.
as a member of the crew. I personally would have been more likely to agree if they hadn't have chosen this moment and threatened us to negotiate.
It's not really a negotiation position that we find ourselves in then. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that we're being somewhat, I don't know, ransomed.
Wouldn't Evodi be as at much risk as we are if they discovered us?
I don't know if Evodi knows what the problem is.
Okay.
And compared to 1,000 years as a prisoner, or 10,000 years as however many years as a prisoner, they look at whatever threats exist now as minor inconveniences.
Well, and in any case, so y'all saying that if Evodi's requests are not met, the threat of discovery would greatly increase, or would indeed befall us.
You said they're protecting us in this system.
Yes. Well, I told everybody about... Did I tell everybody?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, we even
About
had our
the
suspicions
field
before you
marshals and-
confirmed.
Yeah.
No, okay. I didn't remember if it was just a conversation I had with one or two people.
Or we can assume a report has filtered.
Yeah,
sure.
We know.
But if Evodi were to remove their protection, I would need you to make sure that I am not capable of causing harm.
Yes. Which we could do, but my preference would be to not bargain with people who are trying to, I don't know, sell us out to your people.
I don't disagree.
For what it's worth, I know I'm a talented amateur, but I want you to know that if Evodi carried through on this threat, I would, surprising me maybe more than it would surprise you, do everything in my power to protect you from their influence.
It's very sweet.
I appreciate that.
a toddler with a
Yeah,
wooden
yeah,
sword.
yeah. Don't worry, I'll save you.
Sweet summer child.
Yeah, it's very much the tiny bear standing on the end of the bed with the
Yeah.
monster coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
Stand back,
like-
I've got this.
yeah.
What if we counteroffer,
I certainly.
beginning with an explanation of the stakes?
Perhaps they would see reason.
Virginians aren't known for leaving behind survivors.
No, that's fair.
Well,
But Evodi may be able to shield themselves, even if
If
we
they're
are
on
no
this ship, they're at our will.
It is possible to vent the oxygen from the biome.
oh, well, okay. So the other thing, if we're going to negotiate with Evodi, it's also worth. Nolvath, is there any version of negotiation that ends up with Evodi being able to move freely around the ship?
No.
I would agree that it seems unsafe.
Our initial misgivings with them were that they wished to take the ship, because that is what they indicated to us. This ransom, as Rode calls it, is a perfect setup for them to have access to the ship, to gain control of the computers, and to take it from us.
And considering they are naturally armed, that would give them free reign to cause more damage than, say, a paintball might.
Each of their requests puts them in a position closer to that goal. Having the Anarans stay asleep, having free reign of the ship with no alarms, having a say in how the ship is run.
Also, I trust each of you. I don't trust them.
I wanted to trust them, but this ransom it's changed my opinion of them, and I'm disappointed.
Well, I suppose if, like you say, Rode, we make a counter offer, let them know the stakes. Because if they are in this ship and for some reason the Forginians find us and overwhelm us, not only are they in danger, all of the life forms in here are in danger as well, whether they are in a pod or not,
Yes, and
including the other Yadirans. However, many of them might still be remaining here.
true enough.
We can certainly find out.
And we could locate them.
Yes.
We can ransom them right back.
Evodi did mention that there should be other
Idiots.
You dare.
Yadiran in stasis still.
Yes, we would assume they are also prisoners.
The only other option I could see feasible would be to flee the system and remove their leverage.
But don't we want to find out what the Faginians are up to here?
Is it worth the risk at this point?
That would be secondary for
Well-
me to survival.
You've been in the presence of your people before and not been overwhelmed.
As long as they aren't paying attention to me. The closest thing I could compare it to would be if you were standing at attention along with your entire legion of scouts, or whatever the term is used for the
Yeah,
scout
scouts.
corps,
Yeah.
right? And the chairman of the Faginian Joint Chiefs were to be standing on a podium in front of you.
You mean the Pyrone?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The other way.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
You could stand there and never be noticed. But if their eyes focused on you and they decided they didn't like what you were doing, you would find yourself in trouble quickly.
Yes, that's true.
They're not omnipotent or omniscient, but they are incredibly dangerous and very powerful.
And you don't know of any way to shield yourself.
I can try and hide.
But at this point, it isn't just you. It's all of us. It's this ship. We've made enough noise that they know that we're associated.
And guaranteed any of them would know about the fact that what this ship represents.
Right.
So I'm certain that they would want to take this.
I mean, I'm not opposed to a stand-up fight against Virginians.
I am. One of them is frightening enough, no offense.
No,
Remember that giant laser we accidentally shot into space?
Yes.
Rode
I bucked
immediately, like,
click, click, click.
even though we're in the galley, Rode, like, sits on his hands a little.
Yes.
Think of all the Virginian ships it could take out.
Yes. And I have a much better understanding of the weapons array now.
We would man the weapons array.
Just an expert, but that's fine.
It responds best to the exoskeleton.
Yes, I understand.
That's very nice.
Thank you. It's very shiny and pointy.
Ooh.
Just a tactician and military expert.
You're brilliant, Alistair. But the technology is a bit outside of our...
Perhaps you
Historic
could
reach.
advise. It could be
Well,
a team operation.
So out of character, there was a thing where like we
Oh,
broke
that's right,
it
you-
and then
yeah.
I repaired it and I'm like, oh, I understand how this works out, but that I don't have the color changing thing, so that's true.
Well, and I think that only goes in one direction, doesn't it? Kind of has to power up afterwards.
Well, that's not the only weapon the ship has, and
No.
but it's extremely effective, and if we line up the right shot, it could have a cascading effect.
Well, possibly. I suppose if we get the command ships.
Lawrence, do you have a sense if whether it's a few battleships or dozens of little fighters, or what are we talking
I
about?
can't imagine that they would be traveling in anything smaller than a battle cruiser.
But where are they hiding it?
And is it just one?
I only felt one.
When Evody like pulled back a little
Yeah.
bit, you felt one, but you don't know. Like Evody was clearly still keeping a little bit of like a shield.
Sure.
So you don't know exactly how
But
many, but
All
you
I can confirm is there's at least
definitely one at least.
one. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, we could tell Evody that they can fuck off and see what happens. It would bring attention and kick things off in a big way, but if we're ready to run if we need to be,
But what does that end?
and to what end? So out of character, why did we come here?
To get the materials for the
Materials.
ship?
To do repairs.
We
and
didn't get
whatnot.
those
Well,
yet.
to get... No, we haven't gotten them yet. To do repairs on the Phagenian ship that crashed
Oh,
in our
right,
bay so
right.
that we could get their jump thing working better than 80% likely.
Yes.
And you really wanted to. You were investigating based on
Yeah.
the tinfoil hat,
Oh,
like
right.
about
right.
like
Thank you.
the there's Phagenians here. Why are they here? We're
Yeah.
trying to figure. Yeah.
Yeah. So just blowing them up doesn't actually help us answer that
No.
question.
I mean, it's not a bad plan B.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's always an
Well,
option with
B.
Phagenians.
Blow them up.
Yes.
but at the same time, if we can defeat them, we can return to the Pyronans in the system and say, give us the information.
Yes. We would have an extremely solid point of leverage, and the Pyronans would certainly deny their cooperation.
What if we could get them in a tight spot? Because they're clearly complicit in this. We all agree, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
There's
So
no other explanation.
we could just... we could just tell the galaxy they're cooperating.
Or threaten to.
Yes. And then get them to tell us what's going on.
Do we have evidence?
We would need to detect the Phagenian ship.
Ooh, I have a fun idea. What if we tell them we have evidence?
I think they would want to see it.
We have it. Lawrence, do you
Oh.
look that different than the rest of your kind?
No.
What if we just got them believing that they were in a corner?
If we filmed Lawrence in the cockpit of that crashed fighter, saying something incriminating about the system, that would be hard to refute.
Certainly.
This is true.
Alternatively, if we used, forgive me for the suggestion, but if we used your shuttle, and I attempted to re-infiltrate,
Oh,
I could see what I could get from my people.
That's too dangerous.
I thought we were worried about you getting taken over.
Yeah,
Yes.
you.
Again, as I mentioned, if they aren't looking at me, I can do a lot.
But if you're surrounded on a battle cruiser and are spotted, it's over.
They're not omniscient. If I'm walking onto the bridge and they're sitting in the captain's seat and they're
And they look at
confused
you,
and they're
yes.
looking at me and they say, "What are you doing here? You're not part of the regular crew," then I'm in trouble. If I infiltrate the ship and find a computer access port and get things from it,
Camouflage by numbers.
indeed. Their control is more of a hammer than a fine-tipped brush.
What if we have both? Just... I obviously don't want to do anything you're uncomfortable with, Lawrence, but... I do love the idea of blackmailing the people here into giving us what we want.
Certainly.
Why not both?
Maybe one plan than the other.
Yes, not at the same time. That
I
was
just
not amateurs.
I honestly think we got lucky getting you out of the fix that you were in when you jumped back with that Phogenian ship that is resting in the garage right now.
Yes. I did not anticipate that technology.
I don't know how easy it would be to get you out of a bad situation if it were to occur out there.
Well, I mean, you know your way around the ship, and if you're suggesting you go in, you must have an idea for how to get back out.
My thinking is if I make a show of having taken the shuttle and am returning with information on this ship and the technology that it has.
Do your people keep prisoners?
No. I mean, short term, certainly.
If you were perhaps bringing in a Pyronan soldier for questioning,
Absolutely not.
I don't want him to go in by himself.
I don't either.
That might also look a little suspicious considering
Well, the
the
alternate is,
Pyronin here.
I don't know how it is in Phogenian space, but on a Pyronan base, if you have a box and a clipboard, you could get almost anywhere. That's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
That is true, though. That's basically how I found my way all the way to the upper echelons of a city and destroyed it.
It's terrifying. However, a good-sized crate that I could be ensconced in. And if I'm not needed, I remain in the crate. I'm very flexible. However,
I appreciate that. And this is possibly a bad idea, but if I were to return with a being that controls this vessel, that knows more about it. I could probably sell that better than a Pyronin that...
I mean, you could just tell them that I control the vessel.
Well, but if they've struck some kind of deal with the Pyronins, that's confusing. They're going to say, why have the Pyronins been holding out on us?
Oh, well, maybe I'm just one of the representatives of the station here.
Well, certainly you could come along, but I was thinking more if Nolvath came.
Also, Nolvath has an easier way of getting
Because
away.
I can guarantee that they have never seen one of Nolvath's people.
Maybe the three of us would make sense.
Yeah, I snap up to attention there when you mentioned Nolvath, and I say, Lawrence, this planet sounds plenty dangerous enough. I don't know.
I agree.
Considering Nolvath is the only one who can control this ship, I'm not particularly sure. I think that's a great idea. To serve them up on a silver platter.
Well, that's obviously not what the intention is, but it would get us in the door. They're more
Perhaps-
likely to open the door and let us in to do
Perhaps
whatever
you go
we want to do.
invisibly.
Yeah, I turn to you, Nolvath, and I don't say anything, but I do give you a look like, how do you feel? Or what are
We
you
do not
thinking?
favor the idea of placing any of the crew directly into the jaws of the Phegenians. So we would like to revisit Rhodes' blackmail idea.
Certainly.
If we can obtain the materials that we need to fix the jump drive onto this ship, we can flee as fast as we need
And get the information that we want.
and get the information that we want.
Well,
We
I
definitely know something.
suppose if our goal is to find how the Phegenians and Pyronins are collaborating, we would have just as good a chance as finding something on the station, in which Rhoda and I could move quite freely.
With significantly less chance of being eaten.
How many
Almost none.
crew are on one of those stations?
Oh,
Dozens,
yeah.
Only?
But
Well,
most of them are
at least.
business people. Alistair will likely be the most highly trained combatant on the
Well,
station.
why don't we just go back and take it then?
Oh, there's
Why
a station,
blackmail?
quite a few. Well, because then they'll tell us what we want.
Well, they'll tell us what we want.
There may be people on the station who aren't aware of the arrangement.
Also, you and I go to war in very different ways. Mine usually involves a lot of paperwork. And many of the people on that station also, that is their preferred form of dueling.
Right. Which makes it all the more important to not play to their strengths.
Well, I think if we storm the castle, so to speak, their Phegenian partners may feel the need to get involved at that point. Maybe just destroy the station to erase evidence.
Blackmail would be quieter and perhaps allow us more time to get away before the Phegenians are notified.
Perhaps. I suppose if we talk to the right people, the alarms won't get raised.
Well, I'm willing to film whatever fiction you think would help.
I think even just showing them that one got on the ship is almost enough. We don't even need to stage anything.
We could possibly solve both problems. We set this up. We show them a little bit of the footage. We return to the station to negotiate. We take Evodi with us. Once we acquire the information we want, we can leave Evodi there and leave the system.
Oh,
That's
We were going to suggest refreezing them, but we like this better.
Well, they would get their freedom that they so much desire.
good.
and then it makes them not our problem.
And they would be willing to come with us as a member of the crew to be part of the negotiation.
Ooh,
Well, obviously not really as a
I
member of the
know,
crew.
but ugh.
It's increasingly difficult because they can communicate on layers that we wouldn't be aware of,
But if we placate them,
or at
and
least
tell
you
them-
all wouldn't be aware of. But I could try to monitor them.
I think this is a good idea.
Well, sounds like a plan.
Alternatively, we can freeze them and then take them off the ship.
And I suppose that might count as bartering technology to the Pyroman.
That's an interesting point.
That's brilliant.
Because I don't trust them to consciously participate in this in a way that is helpful.
I don't know how we're going to force them into a cryopod.
I do.
All right. I'm all ears. Well, not literally.
I need to go put
I
my
just have
armor on.
Alistair, promise me that you'll be all right.
Yeah. I'll be fine.
All right.
You're
Have
gonna
fun.
need backup ranger.
I believe I will.
Be there.
How well do both of your species fight in cold temperatures?
How cold?
What was the storeroom set at?
right.
It was like a refrigerator,
Yeah.
Yeah.
temperature.
Yeah.
I can work for an extended period of time in those temperatures.
Yeah, my flat suit will insulate me.
It did seem to hamper their abilities quite a bit when they were in the
You
storeroom.
know, I know that there's got to be some deep freeze technology.
However, as soon as we
Beyond the
execute on
cryopods?
this, when we execute on this, their protections will fall.
Yes.
They also are probably listening in.
Oh, I don't know about that. The protections, yes.
Can I try to tell if they're listening in?
Oh no.
Nosebleed. Immediately.
Don't embarrass
On your
me.
nice suit.
Don't embarrass me.
Please embarrass him.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
That's 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that right?
That-
Yes.
That's not a 6. That's good.
Right.
Good job. You don't feel them right at this particular moment.
Okay.
And that get probably, I don't know, you get to decide how confident that makes you.
Well, unfortunately, Alistair has an incredibly inflated sense
Yes.
of confidence.
Yes.
He has the unearned confidence of a middle-aged cisgender white man.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel fairly confident that they're not listening in right now. So we have whatever advantage we have, but if we freeze them, then they
Okay. Good. Okay, I'm going to add something to that. Sorry, I just thought of a
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
You kind of reach out
Oh.
and to
Uh-oh.
like hear, like you see if they're hearing, and you kind of for like a split second, it's like if you're underwater and you're in a bubble and you're like, okay, and then you like stick your head past the bubble and suddenly you just hear all this stuff for a second. And it's just like, and then you're like, bloop, and you pull your head back in and it goes back to quiet. So you didn't hear a Vody, but you heard some fucking terrifying shits.
Yeah, and I was intellectually aware that that was out there.
Yes. But you, like, for a split second, hear the echo of these kind of terrifying voices, that the thing that scares Lawrence, and you just barely hear, like, a little bit of, like bouncing off of other things. It wasn't even
Chatter,
directed at you.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you were walking down the hall of someone getting chewed out in the military,
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, wow.
I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah, and you're like,
You're
yeah.
one of those crewmen in the pit when Vader is choking the
Yeah.
admiral.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm just playing Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then,
Huh.
so that's going to be kind of the mixed success there is you don't think about he's listening right now, but you now have a taste for what really
Yeah,
is
there's
happening.
chills. The body language, if you understand Pyronan body language, there's these slightly more than micro expressions of like the crest rises up. But maybe that's just how I telepathize.
Road immediately is like trying to smooth them all down.
I'm still new at this. There's a lot to practice, but Oh, there are a lot of them out there. But again, if we knock them out, we will lose whatever protections they're providing.
Let's do this in.
Here's an important question. Did you hear more than one?
More than one what? I heard many voices.
This will sound crude, but focus on your memory. Did you hear many voices, or did you hear one echoing voice?
That's a good question. Kimmy, could I access knowledge?
Yes.
In your own brain.
And is this looking for survival information? I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, I think this is good because you are trying to sort through because you got this blast of just a bunch of stuff and you're like terrified. So you're trying to fight past that natural instinct to protect yourself and to like sort through the cacophony that you heard
Yeah.
being untrained.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely.
Okay, so,
So
I'm gonna
well
roll
trained.
plus courage. Okay. 9.
Is there one that I could possibly help you with? Dice wise.
8 plus 1, 9. It's a 3 and a 5. The risk is high. That's all right. I'll take my 9.
Okay. So what? Will you read it off for me?
Yes. Well, it's
Access knowledge. Yeah. So read off the thing.
I wrote the wrong glasses.
On a 10 plus, you do perfectly. Not
7
7
and
and 9, you succeed, but with something unexpected happens, you and another crewmate both mark a condition.
Okay, so it's probably me and Lauren.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna say you're able to sort through it, but the bad news is you've heard 3 distinct voices.
Okay, so I am gonna mark a courage condition. I think uncertain feels appropriate. I try my best to mark a condition based on what I just rolled. That's not in the rules, everybody. That's just my, I like to play on hard.
I would say it's a strong design, intense.
Yeah.
You
But
don't
yeah.
have to, but you should if you're doing it right. I think we were probably all standing up having this conversation and drinks or whatever, and I just like sit down in a chair. I like close my eyes, sit down in that order, and I'm sort of replaying in my mind. And Lawrence, I heard 3 different voices, and those were echoing many times, which I suppose is comforting that it wasn't hundreds of telepaths.
Oh, no. If it was hundreds, I would encourage us to leave right now.
Right. It was 3. I'm certain.
3 is bad enough, but 3 is a standard battle group.
Okay.
So think in your mind of every time you've seen a planet consumed.
Yes.
3 were the ones in control.
I'd like to destroy this battle cruiser.
Wouldn't we all?
We have the capacity.
Well, let's...
One thing you'd know, Lawrence, just for a second before you go on.
Yeah.
Generally, for an attack, like an active attack, they would have 3. The fact that there's 3 in this system suggests that they are imminent on an attack.
Planning. So,
Yeah. So it like imminent. Like usually for just like stasis, like hey, we're gonna do one in 3 or 4 months. Like there'd be like what?
Yeah, they're like gearing up to go.
Yeah, like it's like whatever's been happening here is like
Something bad.
about to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if this doesn't work, let me know. But
Okay.
I feel like High Command wouldn't gather them together unless it was necessary,
Mm-hmm.
just for security purposes, right? Like, if another species caught wind and took out a battle cruiser, that's a major blow. So it's a thing,
Yeah.
right? Like they keep them separated across multiple systems and multiple areas until it's time. And even then, it's more like each one has specific responsibilities. So there's like the general that does the ground troops and the admiral that does space combat and that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that there's 3 here is terrible news. But I think if we proceed with this blackmail plan of the Pyronans, when we complete that, we can lure them out.
Yeah, and have a target. We may even find the communications array that they're using to communicate with the battle group, and we would be able to target them.
And we certainly know that they don't know about the giant laser.
Yes.
We didn't know.
I just want to clarify, they don't use communications arrays. They use these telepaths. Like,
Yeah.
it's all telepathic. Like, they can reach across the entire system with these 3 super telepaths. It's sort of like
to other Phagenians,
to other Phagenians. Yeah.
but not to necessarily the
Yeah.
Pyronians.
To the Pyronans.
Yeah, I'm talking about like how are the Pyronans communicating with the
Got it. Oh, okay,
Phagenians?
got it.
There must be some secret CB radio in the
Click.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
CB radio, known for secrecy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I said secret CB.
Detectable.
Sure.
You call them on my ham radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Encrypted ham radio.
I mean, we can probably almost assume that they will come out if we do give our Yadiran friend or our Yadiran crew member over to the Pyronan and their defenses stop.
I have to ask before I suggest this, just because I know you have warrantedly strong feelings. How do you feel about lying to our Yadiran friend? Just for a little while. Just lead Vodi around by whatever they use as a nose.
Oh, lie to them as much as you need to.
Wonderful. What if we tell them they're on the crew just for a few days? And say that we're working on access.
If they don't leave the biome, we can be agreeable to that.
Wonderful. Just long enough to placate them so that we're safe and able to leave the system with the information that we want without having an entire invasion force landing on our heads.
That will require everyone to think very loud, convincing, we don't hate Devotee and want to eject them from the ship thoughts. Or alternatively, they super dislike it when you have sexual thoughts, so just fantasize constantly.
Done.
That's not an issue.
You did it. You killed Kimmy.
Don't laugh, you'll cough.
That's good warfare tactic.
Yes, just think of your favorite sexual encounter very loudly, and they will not enter your mind.
How does one pick?
Honestly, it is quite difficult. We have millennia of them to sort through in the hive.
Well, I was just thinking the last few weeks,
Yeah.
Oh, those were good also.
There's a look when you say millennia, Jonas is like, oh, and then you say those are good also. Oh.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
A little stiffening and then a relaxing.
but that's quite a bit of that.
Sure.
I have a minor problem.
Yes.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh,
Oh, right.
Oh,
well,
does
But-
your
But you're shielded.
you have a sturdy telepathic resistance. The Vodi doesn't wander into your mind.
No, I try and lead a Voti where I want.
Right.
yes?
So
I will try, but
our tactics will deviate somewhat from yours.
it's fine.
Although, if you are interested to learn what we mean, we will be happy to explain it.
I understand at a biological level what you're talking about. I don't understand why you would maintain the thought.
Well, because it's off-putting to Evody. Evody it finds that distasteful.
It just
I'm
sticks
confused.
around.
I see.
Do you ever daydream, Lawrence?
No.
About delicious food or, I don't know, fighting a fascinating conflict?
No.
Oh, remember when we evolved recently and in our softer state, the scent of that
Oh,
reminded you of the shell that
delicious.
Tavrock came out of?
Yes.
Yes. So the memory connected in an enjoyable way.
I see. Think about deliciousness.
Yes, that's what I
Yes.
I can change my pathways.
I'll be referring to you as deliciousness.
I accept that.
Your high deliciousness.
First, deliciousness.
First of his name.
Well, suppose we got ourselves a plan. We are inviting Evody into our crew, then, so to speak.
We're
Yes.
recording.
We're recording
video.
blackmail.
We're recording a video to blackmail the Pyronans, to let them know we know what we know, and we know that they don't know what we know.
They did it first.
Right. It's only fair. It's our turn.
Yes.
And then, Ranger, somewhere down the line, you and I, Alistair, will apprehend our little friend.
Yes.
All right.
But that can be
We'll tie them
sometime
up
from now.
and we'll tie them up and get into some naughty business with them.
yes. Indeed.
Starting to change the way of thinking.
I bet if we had sexual fantasies about Evody, that would be particularly off-putting for them.
The Vody is particularly not delicious.
Yeah.
Notably.
I make
No,
the face
toxic.
of a cat that is like
Yeah.
about to occupy.
Yeah, I have trouble imagining that as well.
Let's stick to more delicious fantasies.
Agreed.
Those should be off-putting enough.
Is that why you feel compelled to become,
To couple?
yes, to preserve this deliciousness?
Oh, in a
As a
contractual form.
Yes.
Mm.
That's part of it. Yes?
Yeah, it's part of it that's just kind of deeply embedded in who we are.
I see.
A partner to know one isn't alone.
That one.
I can see the evolutionary advantage.
And yes, to build a home together and perhaps extend one's name.
And sometimes
think-
it's just about not being alone.
For all the time that Lawrence has spent trying to infiltrate other cultures and stuff, he has never considered the idea that someone had to have built the homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until, like,
because
right
they're
now.
just there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I arrive, there's there, it's just buildings. They're just
Right.
a thing.
yeah.
Ah,
Lawrence, when we are no longer running from your people, what would you like to do with your life?
I honestly hadn't thought about it. I just knew I didn't want to keep doing that.
Well, that's a good start as ever.
I think our intended goal is to help resettle our Inaran friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
We would like that as well.
And it seems like their planetary needs are compatible with ours. And we, in particular, are skilled in terraforming information.
I'm quite good at it, if I do say so myself.
Of course you are. I wasn't being sarcastic.
I understand.
I
I accept your accolades.
I'm hoping we find somewhere nice for them that might be amenable for us as well, since I don't think we're going to be welcome in Pyronan space anytime soon.
That's all right.
In some amount of time, things will blow over and we'll have more freedom to move around, but
Oh, we just never go back.
there's honestly no one I'm looking forward to seeing again that isn't right here.
Maybe someday we'll go back to Pyrona's for to gloat.
That would be fun.
But other than that, I think a wonderfully terraformed world is in our future.
Yeah, I think resettling a new species is quite the feat, if you ask me. Certainly worth gloating about.
Of course.
Only we knew of a planet where they just planted a bunch of big trees.
Oh, don't
somewhere.
you worry. The blues have not been forgotten.
Yeah, and I'll say too.
The blues.
He
Not the
wasn't here for
blues.
the blues.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. We're not.
Is a banana stand?
No.
I'll say too. I would love to see little Tavrock in a setting other than this ship.
Yes. And of course, the offer stands if you need someone to return to Pyronis
Yes, we'll
for you.
figure that out.
Hmm.
Unfinished business.
If we return on those terms, I'll join you.
So, film blackmail, lie to you, Bodhi, and then we press our way back onto the space station and convince them that we're onto them, that we've seen a Phagenian in system. And they have some explaining to do before they're
Or-
reported all the way back to
Perhaps you
Pyronis
captured a Phagenian.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's a very convincing,
in our custody.
especially if there was a Pyronan interrogating you. I think we could make that look pretty good.
Are you up for that, Ranger?
I am versed in interrogation techniques. I find them unpleasant. But for these purposes, in our charade, I'm willing to do that.
Wonderful. Oh, I love little blackmail.
Fascinating. I've never been caught by a Pyronan.
Well, I should hope not.
I'd like to see what your techniques are.
Well, they're largely based on what we know about yours. And some of the training I had to go through included some examples.
All right, I suppose I'll clear ourselves a space to hold our prisoner here.
We will work on some contingency plans with the ship.
As we're walking out with Lords, I'm like, are you familiar with the 3 electrode technique?
Doesn't know about the 3 electrodes.
Perfect. Show notes.
All right.
And as I walk out the room, I kind of look you up and down, and then I kind of blush a little red, and I start walking out.
Working on that technique.
I'm taking that to heart. Yeah.
Think very loud.
All right. I would like for you all to roll brains, please, for how loudly you're thinking sexy thoughts
Oh
or
god.
delicious thoughts.
So we want to crash brains.
So the telepath move says savvy. Can I roll that instead?
For your telepath, since you have a telepath move, yes.
Okay.
All right. So I had brains -1. It's crashed. So what is it? What exactly
So
do
you're
I?
just rolling your 2 dice plus / minus your brains.
Mine is brains. Okay.
I squeaked up to 7 because of that
Oh,
savvy.
I got a 10.
Okay.
Reminder that Nolvath has a hive mind
Yes.
full of millions
Terrifying.
of years of
Terrifying.
thousands upon the millid having fun times.
Yes.
Just rolling brains.
So you got a 7. So
Yes.
you pulled it out.
Which would have been a 6 if you made me roll brain.
Okay.
So
That is an 8.
An 8. Okay.
I got a 4.
Oh no!
Is that an experience point?
Yeah. That's
All
an
right.
experience point. Good
Hey.
job.
An 8.
An 8.
oh,
Okay.
I did forget to mark one of those failed rolls.
You only succeeded.
All right.
Actually, well, it feels awkward. I wouldn't know this roll was happening to offer to help. Right?
Ye-
How would
That-
you help?
Yeah, that's it.
That whole conversation.
Here, look at this magazine.
But specifically,
We're great
like,
all the way.
if like it seems like we're all walking out of the room and this kind of happens and everybody's like focused for a second, if I see that you're like, I don't know, that you like put your hand to your head and you're struggling for a second or something,
Sure.
like this is gonna be terrible and wonderful at the same time. But like, just lean in right next to your ear and just fully describe the smell of the shell. And why he got specific, like, I think he feels guilty that he got real creepy with Nolvath for a minute. And so, like, he describes that to you in a way that, like, just emphasize how irresistible it was.
Okay. All right.
As, like, just all of that.
You know what?
Incredible.
So, Jonas, is this like a smell you're familiar with in like a different way?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, God.
We literally
So-
went over this last session. Yeah. Oh my God.
When you say
Yeah.
that, it puts me in a different place. I will go ahead and I roll a 1 and a 4.
So
Okay.
funny.
Okay.
-1 brains.
Okay.
So,
So
you get to roll.
you
get to
roll
roll.
the
Yeah,
die.
You get to replace the 1. 5.
Okay.
So hold on.
9.
5, 4, 9 -1. It's 8. It's 8.
It's still a success.
Okay.
Iconic way to get
Incredible.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
-1 brains team.
You both frightened me.
Uh.
I had an ability that could have allowed you to help me with this, but I realized that it takes your stat instead of mine.
Oh no.
Wait, hold on. You forgot your back.
My-
Hold on.
My savvy.
Oh, yeah,
Oh yeah.
well, I
It's just
spent
not mine.
I was rolling with a
Improve things.
+1.
So you spent the trust. You get your
Right.
trust back.
I get one more XP.
You bump
and
me
I'll
up to
get
higher
+1 savvy.
success band, so you earn another trust on top of that.
okay.
I'm trying
Alright.
so hard.
Nice job.
I think the funny part is everybody else watched me get like all right up in your ear and was like,
Yeah. Describing egg.
yeah, just,
Happening.
Faginian ASMR.
yeah.
I think we kind of got into some spicy times. It's maybe not like super involved. Maybe like, you know, I gave you a very, very like tight, passionate hug and kiss, and I scraped myself off of those pointy bits
Oh.
that had just evolved, and that was giving me a tough time
Oh.
getting there.
okay.
Until
These
Lawrence
lines.
came along and whispered in my ear, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was really." Confidence
Nice.
built up in my body.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
walk.
Well, I don't think Jonas saw it, but I think like even like the inner jaw came out a little bit while he was talking.
God.
The audience sees this.
Yeah, the audience sees that all happening. It's like
Ooh.
Ripley in the shower from
Yeah,
Alien 3.
Yeah,
yeah, that's very much
yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. Yeah.
Wow.
Whisper sweet nothings in your ear.
Beautiful.
It's if the alien did like Homer Simpson, like describing.
Yeah.
So if you got a 10 plus, you're fine. If
Okay.
you got like everyone got a middle success, so you are protected, but I want you to mark a condition.
Sure.
Okay.
So because you are hot and bothered, or a little bit distracted, or having trouble focusing, or
Reckless
Me
seems
too.
good.
very, very focused on thinking about this, so you can't let yourself think about other things. So there's a little bit of
I just
Condition.
did something that in our culture should be impossible, which is get a beautiful, wonderfully signed contract for 1,000 years with no real papers to my name. I feel great. Checked reckless.
Yeah. I'm
amazing.
making all kinds of decisions.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna mark guilty because I'm a little bit like a little embarrassed.
Okay.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah.
What did you mark?
Reckless.
Oh, reckless
as
too?
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I marked resentful.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Not towards the crew, but towards the fact that Evody is holding this over us.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so bummed.
Yeah.
I was a Bodhi's advocate, and now I'm flipped. I'm mad.
Ruh-roh.
I mean, you have kept them imprisoned this whole time too.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I know, but
I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm
I
just
was,
saying like
I was
I'm there
stumping
with
for
you.
them. I was like, "Hey, look, you're right. We should do this differently." And then they threatened it. I'm like, "No, we're done here."
All right. Very good. So you've all successfully awkwarded out of reading your thoughts for now, but we'll
For
do rolls
now.
every dramatically appropriate amount of time.
Devotees.
Yeah.
What? I didn't say
But,
anything.
no, yep.
No.
So you were going to record the video first? That was your first step of the plan?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So, would you like to roleplay that out, or do you want to just discuss how that happens?
I don't want to get too far into it because we're pretending torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
also-
only pretend.
yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
also like movie magic, I'm gonna assume. Like, you're not actually harming them in any way.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's probably like one step above like ketchup packets or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember what Virginian black what color it is,
I think
but
it's black.
it's so yeah. I think you're right. It's black or whatever it is. So it's all fake, to be
Yeah.
clear.
Right.
But you
Shell
can make it
polish.
really well. Plus, it's like, okay, shaky camera. Oh, look. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
I get my uniform back out.
Yeah.
Like all this kind of stuff. So.
And
Okay.
road positions the camera to kind of like, imply that it's meant to be like a hidden camera situation.
Yeah.
Looks like surveillance cam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interview room. Yeah.
Bad grainy audio, like the whole, like literally Road's not Lawrence. He doesn't have like super fancy tech, so he wants it to be very clear that like it's like recording this on his iPhone essentially.
Got it. Okay.
And so the setup is grainy and enough that it gives them the information. They can confirm that we do have a Phagenian, but they don't need to see in high def that this is our Phagenian, even though they
Right.
probably can't tell the difference.
See, yeah. No, yeah. Okay.
It's all shaky cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, it being fake, but, like, what are some of the things that you're trying to kind of, like...
Oh, it's also worth knowing we're obscuring my face.
Yeah, okay.
I think,
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm an interrogation officer, but that also means I should be, anonymous.
I think that Road even tucks in some like, listen, we don't talk about the fact that some Pyronans do wear feather extensions, but tucks some like feathers that are not Roads
Pyronans of a certain age.
into Alistair's like collar just to make it really clear that this is not Alistair.
Okay.
And there's a little moment of Alistair kind of going like, kind of like, no, oh yeah, this is a shame.
Yes, we don't talk about why I have those.
I assume for disguises.
Yes.
Right.
They looked wonderful on Lawrence.
I'd like to see that. Everyone looks better in feathers.
Oh, yeah.
So just kind of give the, like, broad strokes of what this video depicts so that I can understand.
Right, yeah. So it's, metal table, chair. I come across, I'm like beating him up and
Sure.
the 3 electrode technique that everyone knows about apparently. We're just pretending to beat him up, and he's like telling us stuff about the battle group that's here, and I'm just
Yeah. We have permission to be here.
yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
and I'm
mhm.
playing this like, some military intelligence guy who's not part of the station, right? Like some cruiser is whatever.
A ranger.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's fine that I'm operating on my own because I'm a ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm using that sort of faux jurisdiction to beat him up and get answers, and he breaks.
I think like you're pretending to beat me up, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. Like it has to be worse than that, right?
Yeah.
So like you come in for a punch, and I specifically like lean into it
Mm.
just to take it right across the face.
Sure,
so
yeah.
then like a big splash of blood on the wall, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And we were trying to remember if Virginian blood is black, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah. I mean, once I understand that you want to go like, I mean, we do have a healing bay and whatever. So
Yeah.
So yeah, we make it look as good as we can, and Alistair's no slouch. Like,
Yeah. I was not suggesting you were,
Yeah,
but you were
yeah.
like trying to do it in a way that was theatrical.
I was trying to be polite.
Yeah.
This is a polite interrogation, and that's not what we're doing right now. So,
Right.
yeah.
Now, Lawrence, the Phigenians, the Pyronans probably would never know this. Even the ones who have dealings with Phigenians wouldn't know necessarily the about like the telepathy and all that stuff. Is it possible if a Phigenian gets captured for them actually to give information?
Yeah, I'm like, especially the infiltrator group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're left on our own.
Yeah.
And all of our training is how to deal with not being directed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Like, I put on my full like infiltrator
Got it.
uniform kind of look.
And we would do a whole thing of like, oh, he's been drugged and maybe telepath, and
Yeah,
you know, it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whole layer of
Yeah. Well, and the Pyronans wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the people you're showing this video to, like, aren't gonna
No, they have
know
no
about
idea.
any of this stuff
Right.
anyway. This is more just for like my information and for like canon.
Yeah.
Like
Right, yeah.
So the so like the infiltrators, because you were on your own.
Sure. Like,
But-
if you just caught a Phigenian that had just run out of a troop transport ship all feral and running
Mhm.
crazy,
Yeah.
no.
yeah, it's a wild animal practically.
Yeah.
Well, and they are still pretty much under the control of those
Right.
three
Yeah.
telepaths.
It would be like trying to interrogate Brent Spiner in Independence Day when the alien's controlling him.
Yeah.
Like, they're asking questions, and it's clearly not his voice coming out, but
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you could get an answer out of them, maybe, if they wanted to give you one,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't necessarily care about whatever damage you did to that individual.
I forgot that was him in that.
Yeah.
Peace, no peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Release us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was so... All right. Okay. Very good. So you make this video. You have it recorded on your space iPhone future thing.
Mhm.
It's appropriately grainy so that there are some punches being pulled, but you can't really tell if you're watching. And it's very well done. So yeah.
Okay.
So now.
We need to let Evody know that they're part of the crew and we're working on how to unlock the halls.
Yes, it's going to take some time
Right. Because we don't have an Anaran.
that
Yeah.
they know of.
They haven't seen their new forms,
No.
right?
Mhm.
So, and you're not going to go in there to tell them.
Well, they have no reason to listen. Road is happy to just go and lie to their face, but it's also just kind of a like, we don't have any current Anarans awake on the ship, or you asked us to not wake up anymore.
Right.
So
And we honor that request.
yeah, so
obviously. Yeah.
we can't do it, and because you can't leave this space still, you're gonna have to be a little patient with us, crewmate.
Yeah, like you got us over a barrel. You got us. We're on board, but it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you can do the lying because
I
I'm terrible at it.
love lying. Road loves lying so much.
How far are we from the station at this point?
Still in the
we didn't-
neighborhood, I think.
Yeah, we didn't really.
Yeah, you're
Like-
just
Because we had some
fly
vague
off too
idea to like
far.
fly around the system.
Yeah,
but
go
we
and-
never
Yeah.
left.
Survey.
Yeah.
yeah, but you never really did. So you're probably like within orbit
Short shuttle
distance.
distance.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
probably less than an hour.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean we were on the station like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
So-
and you haven't gone anywhere, so you're like the Amber Star is big, so it's a little far off. So it probably would
And
be
we took the fancy shuttle in.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's probably like a 20-minute shuttle flight.
Great. Okay.
Like there's no beaming, but you're yeah. It's
So our
commuter
lives
distance.
don't have to last for very long until we go to the black
Right.
map
No.
part.
Yeah, you have like
Yeah.
days of travel on
Great.
it.
Mm.
That was my question.
And then we can even tell Evody. I mean, every lie is built on as much truth as you can give it, right? We could tell Evody that we're trying to track down the collaboration with this really dangerous species that's, looks like they're geared up to invade someone, and we want to stop that. And
You can
know.
also explain that they are like me, but they haven't learned that devotee doesn't taste good yet.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some like not so veiled threats in there of like the Phagenians will not take kindly to our presence anywhere in any system. So it's a good thing you're a member of our crew because we always need more help because we're constantly being hunted by these people because we're on this ship. So welcome to the crew.
Yeah. That's good shit.
Being nice about it.
That's what we call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're being nice about it.
I'd hate to see you being mean.
Oh, Rode doesn't have a mean bone in his body.
Just as nice and
All right.
nicer.
Yeah.
Let's
Tyronans are cartilaginous.
Yeah.
All right, so are you coming?
People.
Yeah.
Are you coming alone, Road?
Would you talk to a Voti? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it would depend on what everyone else thinks because Rode doesn't care. Because Rode's like, it's fine. I've got pretty plot armor.
Take someone who can fight with you.
Yeah, I'm going.
Fine. We've been fine before. I'm sure it'll be fine now.
And I assume we've changed out of our nice clothes.
Yes! I'm back to looking like Felix. Just a normal prospector.
Wait, can't you just be Rode, the normal prospector?
No. It's illegal for me to exist.
Well, Rode Theolus.
True. But
You can't be the only Rode in the universe.
I introduce myself to them as Felix.
Oh, here. Yes.
Yes. No, in the wider galaxy, please.
This is a little ways after we've kind of made our preparations, right? Okay, Jonas has been really tense all day.
You're thinking about sex.
Uh-oh.
Thinking about, yeah. So I seek you out, Nolvath, and I'm going to add a layer to this conversation by being very loud with you.
Oh, nice.
So that Evodi kind of has to contend with that while they're having their
Wow.
conversation.
So it's playing a heavy
Oh,
bass
nice.
directly
Yeah.
over, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great.
Can I make it worse?
Level of
Please, by all
orchestration.
means.
Please do.
I think it'll only make it better.
Words!
So you remember how Nolvath has that little burrow in the bio where they like to go and take naps with Jonas sometimes? It's in the same biome where
It is in the same
He
biome.
currently is.
Off in the distance.
It's so funny.
Perfect.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Ignore this.
Also, like, Rode forgot when he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go talk to, I have to go in the biome. There's dirt in there.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay.
Go put your combat boots on.
Yeah, I guess. So Rode goes traipsing into the biome. Definitely needs Alistair to show him where Evodi is even camped out. If he's
there's
in
like
the
a
same, they're in
pond
the
or
same
whatever
spot.
that the Voti hangs out in.
So we have there's sexy times going on, like in telepathic distance.
Yep.
And I am gonna have you both roll your brains, or you can just roll your telepathy again. I'm gonna let you roll with advantage since there's like
Oh,
a
thank
distraction
you.
happening,
Okay.
which means you roll 3 dice and take the 2 highest.
Oh, that's great. That's one of those was a 1. It's still a 1.
Oh no!
Jesus. Well,
I get to mark XP.
Yeah. Okay, good.
It's a 6.
why? I got a 9.
Okay.
And because I'm also there to do some subterfuge, and I have an experience in that. Can I add that to the roll for a 10?
Sure, that's fine.
Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about skills.
Absolutely.
Does stealth apply?
No.
I suppose I could try and help again.
I'm curious.
The most threatening assistance ever.
The fact that one of these die rolled a 1 twice in a row.
Yeah, I
is
watched it happen.
Respectful.
It hurt. Oh my god. Well, it's been nice knowing you all.
Well, you're great, Road.
Yeah. I'm on a mission.
What was your total?
6.
6.
Which now, that is my 5th XP, and I'm putting +1 in Savvy. So it would be a 7.
7 next time.
Next
The
time.
next time I roll.
Yeah.
But today, this is me learning a valuable lesson.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So you're walking into the biome, and you're escorting Road to where Avodi generally is,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not finding them.
Avodi. Ugh.
Hey, Bodhi, we came to talk to you about the arrangement.
You're a member of the crew now.
We'd like to discuss the details with you.
All right, where is he?
I don't know. Yeah, can I use some like traditional tracking techniques?
Yeah,
Just to-
absolutely.
like I know he leaves a weird trail in the dirt.
Yes.
Okay. That I do get.
We are entire. This indoor kid does not know what he is doing.
No.
No, that's okay. That's why you brought me. All right, let's see. That's a 6.
Oh my god.
Excellent.
Get to mark another
Can I
one?
help?
Can
Can I help with this one?
Yeah, you can absolutely help.
Oh, okay. So it might not be a fail.
it might have.
So it's I got a 1 and a 2 and a +3. So
Jesus. I think Road like starts by just like lightly kicking like some of the greenery, just like this is helpful, right? And then remembers, oh yeah, that's right. No, I've actually like survived on my own for a few years, and I'm actually kind of good at things sometimes. And I think is going to stop and use their like little cloud system to try and like just do like a base like a ping of like what's
Ping,
nearby, essentially basically like a mini local mapping.
Yeah.
And brings it over to Alistair like, is this helpful?
oh, well, yeah, I can see what you've done there. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Good. So you can roll 1 die, and it will replace.
No!
Is it a 1? Oh my god.
We are destined to die
It's
here,
meant
actually.
to be.
Oh my god.
This is disrespectful.
That is nuts.
Any other number would have been helpful.
Anything would have made it better.
My
And-
dice have been rolling so well.
I think this is
We're
getting
down.
me back for Raven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do
maybe.
you remember that
Yeah.
moment?
Oh.
So you now share in the result. So
Can these dice roll better than that?
there's this beautiful voice in your head that you know is Avodi's like telepathic voice.
Uh-huh.
I marked afraid.
Okay. Good.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah, you
marked
should mark it. Yeah.
I'm gonna mark. Okay, hear me out. I'm marking jealous
Okay.
because of Evodi's talent.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
So you hear the voice. I will never understand your strange beings. I made a offer, and you say you are for negotiation, and yet you come here to betray me. And you think you can betray a telepath. And there's almost like this, like the confusion in the
Mhm.
telepathic
Yeah, what are you
voice,
doing?
like bizarre, like complete not understanding, and like, well, you have made your decision, and you both get like these like blasts of
Yeah.
pain in your head, like so you're gonna mark 2 conditions each.
2 more?
Whoa.
Mhm.
Oh,
This is a separate thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Before it was
Yeah.
like, oh shoot, we screwed up. I feel bad about it. Now Avodi's attacking you with their brain.
Yeah.
well, now I'm gonna mark guilty and angry.
I'm marking angry.
And my brains are crashed, but they were already -1, so it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah,
I only got hit in the head. It's fine.
it's okay.
Angry and selfish.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. So
On this, my wedding day.
Yeah, right? Road looks to Alistair. Just during, I think, the whole villain monologue. And when the pain hits, I think it fully drops Road. He does not do pain. And just looks to Alistair with absolute fear.
Yeah. And for Alistair, there's this moment of, like when a rock hits glass, that like spider web, that's how his eyes go bloodshot like that. They go
Yeah.
like from this pain of like bloodshot. And goes to a knee to try to support Road, and just is gonna hit the like internal, like our comm like red alert. Now we're at war
Yeah.
because this thing hurt Road,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's gonna die.
So yeah, you all hear you two are busy, but
We hear it.
yeah, you hear it.
Yeah.
There's no missing it.
Okay. I mean, I look at you, and I don't think we even say anything. I don't think I even say anything. I just kind of like, I don't know. I think I kind of just make a gesture like I'm gonna go check that out, and I'll quickly suit back up.
And they make a gesture to you. They're gonna go find the nearest computer terminal.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And I'll. Oh gosh. I'm gonna say I don't have my firearm. I only have like my combat knife on my suit at the time. I don't even have my sticks. So, yeah, I'll put a hand on my blade, and I'll start tracking towards where, I believe, Evody is, I suppose.
I think Nolvath would have brought the tranquilizer dart gun with them in here because they do not trust you.
Yeah.
So they hand that to you.
Okay, all right, I'll take it. I'm worried because now that means you don't have anything.
I have 2 knives.
Oh, that's true.
You're very scary.
I'm going to say, I don't know what that was about, but please be careful. And I'll have the gun in hand, and start making my way over to the two of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if it's okay, like I'm gonna hit red alert, and if we're not like receiving poison spines,
Nope.
I'm just gonna text Evody attacked.
Yeah.
And just like hurry that. It's probably misspelled, but
Yeah.
autocorrect. Go.
Yeah. Squid emoji, squirt gun emoji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explosion emoji.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have my sidearm. So
Mhm.
I knew I was coming for security, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody roll brains.
I can roll my +1 savvy now. You know what? These dice are in timeout. Hold on. That's much better.
Those can stay.
5. Okay, so Jonas got a 5.
Can I get +1 for psychology?
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
That actually,
Yeah, that sort of makes sense enough. I guess.
I buy it.
It's a good-
And
yeah.
not just me stumping as a player. Like,
Yeah.
that actually,
No, I mean that's what I'm asking honestly. I'm not trying to sell
No,
it.
I get
I'm
it,
just
but
like kind of
For you, because you've had actual training,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel like psychology is kind of like the
that's
the
kind of
equivalent.
yeah.
So yes, so you can use that.
Great. You got a 7.
The 7. Okay.
10.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
If I can use the subterfuge again, great. If not, that's fine.
Yeah, you're not really
It's
faking
fine.
anything now.
It's a 7.
Okay.
8.
8. Okay. So Jonas, you're gonna have to mark 2 conditions. If you
Okay.
got anything less than 10, everyone else needs to mark 1 condition.
Jesus.
And what's happened is, Jonas, you hear it clear as day. People who rolled mixed success, you hear it kind of as a whisper. Alistair, you don't hear it at all. You hear the beautiful voice of Evody's telepathic thing. Well, you didn't want my protection. So, if you're going to kill me, we might as well all die together.
Ooh.
And suddenly, you hear this cacophony in your heads of all the telepathic noise that's been happening in this system as Evody pulls their shield back.
Ooh.
And so they haven't attacked you.
Yeah.
They have stopped protecting you.
Okay.
And yeah, so, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying. You're hearing like these like booming Phagenian voices in Phagenian like mind speak, which is a mix of images which are violent and terrifying and brutal with also the angry Phigenian like voices and their language, which most of you probably don't understand. So it's just like this horrible, like very like guttural language over these like very strong images that aren't even directed at you, but still are just like very like upsetting and disturbing.
Right. Okay.
So especially for those of you who have been at war with Phigenians, because it's definitely something that kind of echoes some of the bad experiences you've had.
This is also not something we would normally hear. Like Evodia's pumping this into our minds.
No. This is like what's happening in the system, and like it's sort of being broadcast in a way that like the Pyronans are probably being protected, or at least like excluded, if that makes sense. The telepaths are like, don't send it to them, and send it everywhere else. That's why the system is so bare right now. Is so the Pyronans or the Phigenians can kind of just send this out and not have to worry about it.
Okay.
And most people flying through here probably like people aren't just flying through here, and people flying nearby aren't going to pick up on their very specific communication.
Well, I'm just thinking like we've been in, Phigenian invasions before, and that's not usually part of the experience.
Right, because they're targeting who they're aiming it at.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So because they can, So this is like, that's like when like, okay, you're talking to your radio specifically to the people.
Right.
Here it's more like boot camp where they're just like blasting it out for
Right.
everyone. If that
Okay.
makes
An
sense.
announcement on a PA.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm gonna mark afraid, and I'm going to mark insecure, crash savvy.
Oof. I marked hopeless. As Road kind of gets up and like looks Alistair in the eyes, and he also has like fully bloodshot red eyes now. And he is like the Pyronan equivalent of pale. As he went from being fine and happy to having 5 conditions in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And he is very scared. And you see in his hand a very thin blaster come out of his thigh holster.
Good.
Are we still? I'm not incapacitated or anything, though, right?
Not unless you've marked that many conditions.
No, I've still got a little bit here. I've got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm torn now. So at this point, I'm conflicted because I don't know whether to continue to find Evodi to try to take them out, or to run to the bridge to try to get the ship out of here. Actually, Nolvath, you like ran out to find the nearest computer terminal, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run after you, and I'm going to fire off a message to everybody saying I'm getting us the hell out of here. I'm gonna run to the bridge and start, get there as quickly as I can and just start a court.
There are terminals in the biome. Which is where Nolvath is going.
We can control. Oh, you can control stuff there, but do I still need? I
don't know if you can fly the ship from here.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, in that case, ooh.
But
I'll
we
see if I
can't
can at least
jump without a gate, right? Like we.
Yeah,
still
that's
need
what I was gonna
we
do. Is
kinda
like
just fly out.
fly over to like a gate, like the
Yeah.
closest gate that we have that there is. And
We
just
did take
try
a
to
gate
the
to
hell
get
out of
here.
Yeah. Okay, so you're finding a terminal in the biome. No, I'm gonna shoot that message out and then head over to the bridge. If I find you, great. I'll tell you what's going on. But otherwise, I'm like, I gotta get us out of here.
Now, sort of like when you walk into like a club or something.
Yeah.
Like when it's super loud
Yeah.
for a few minutes, it's like overwhelming. You're kind of like becoming a little bit like normalized to this,
Oh,
the
sure.
sounds now.
Inured to the
Yeah.
noise.
Sure.
Yeah, so you don't get to clear conditions, but it is something that becomes like more tolerable,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Background radiation.
Yeah, it's sort of like
The shock. Of
yeah, the shock of it was kind of the initial thing. And now it's sort of becoming something that your mind is sort of filtering out, like if you live by like train tracks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You live near the Burbank Airport.
Flight path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right under the flight path. Yeah. So it is like manageable now. So you're at a point where you're not like the animal instinct of flee, fight, like whatever it is probably calming, and you're like, okay.
No, Rhodes is still fully flee.
Okay.
He's on high alert.
Well, I'm in murder mode.
Okay.
So I'd like to I want to track down a Bodhi.
Okay.
I know they're really uncomfortable out of the water, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, are they under the water? Yeah, that's kind of my instinct. Is like, I want to look around the pond, see if there's an exit, and if they haven't exited, then I'm gonna assume they're in there.
Okay.
And like keeping an eye on the water the whole time in case they like pop up and attack. And yeah, that's so. I need to see if they've come out of the pond at all.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can stealth apply to this?
Yeah, I would think your knowledge of stealth could help you find people who are stealthy.
Okay. That's 10.
Okay, great. It does look like that they've been living here, so it's a little hard to tell whether they've done it recently, but you do see places where they've exited and entered the pool.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the freshest tracks. They'd still be wet, probably.
Yes.
You know?
So the most recent, what looks like the most recent, it does have them out of the water.
Okay.
Alistair, what are you doing?
I'm finding that son of a bitch.
I don't know where to go.
Just stay behind me.
Fine.
While they're doing that, I would like to turn down the temperature in the biome, please.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay.
Winter mode activate.
You are able to do that. While you were there, because you've opened up one of the panels in the biome, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to get like a blast in your mind. So you're being attacked. So marked 2 conditions, please.
Okay.
Oh God.
I don't have any defense against that.
Do you have any defense against that?
As a person who's used to having a lot of chatter in their head.
This is not chatter. This is like a blast attack. So it's not just like yelling. It's like they are causing damages in your brain.
The unfamiliar's moves, not like you. You can survive things
Okay, there
that
you go.
most of the other crew members cannot when
There you
faced
go.
with the substance or condition that is
Yeah.
dangerous to the crew.
Hive
Roll
mind.
plus body.
There you go. So the answer is yes, you have something to protect against that.
Yeah. Let's go, weird body.
Get lost in their mind.
Put it in a box. We went over this.
Yep.
That's a 10.
Ooh, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Get wrecked.
So yeah, no, like,
Get wrecked, Devotee.
yeah, so you feel what should have been and probably would have like at least brought down for like a minute or two most of the crew.
Yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable, but you shake it off.
Okay.
I'm also just going to send a quick ping to our message group of my location, right?
Okay.
And I'm moving, and I'm hoping everyone will interpret that correctly. But I'm just like, without looking down, I'm just like, ping, find your friend.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping Road in arm's length. But I also have like rapier and blaster out. So this is,
We're doing it.
yeah, we're going pirate style.
Yeah.
Marks, what are you doing, Lois?
Yeah.
Who's the tallest? in the
I'm
whole group?
tall.
We're pretty tall.
Right. Okay.
And I'm a little taller than you,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
like
So you're like,
Oh, but you're real tall.
Nolvath is also pretty tall.
yeah, Road's like 6'4".
And I'm 6'6" or something.
Yeah, yeah,
6'8",
yeah.
something like that.
okay. I'm just out of curiosity. I think the door to the biome opens up, and Lawrence like comes in what is kind of like a battle suit sort of thing. Like he has put together from pieces of tech that he had and things that he's kind of been working on, like an exoskeleton kind of a thing. So instead of being his usual, high 4 foot, low 5 foot height, he's more like 7.
Yeah.
Because it's like bolted on, so he has
Yeah,
more
yeah.
mobility, and like it's got a whole like face shield thing
Cool.
on.
Yeah.
Specifically, like that he has been working on this since he learned he shouldn't try and eat everything.
Yeah.
So then he just comes like barreling in. Like as soon as the doors open wide enough, he's just running in after wherever your
Yeah.
thing was.
It's the no biting
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a mobile shark
from the
cage.
inside.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm tracking.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're working hard at being stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And they have lived here, so it's not easy.
Okay.
So Jonas, you've gone to the bridge.
I'm running to the bridge. Yeah,
Okay. So you're still hellbent on just flying out of here, like leaving the
I think
system?
so. I think so.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to get like if the safeguards are down, I don't want the Phagenians swarming the ship. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
not without us being prepared for it at the very least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you rolled a 10 in your last stealth, so it takes a couple minutes, but you're able to, like, track the direction they've headed, and you can tell they're close to where Nolvath is.
Okay.
They're trying to get at the panel, basically.
Okay.
So you can't see them, but you know they're in that area, and then Nolvath was just attacked, so.
Okay. I'm gonna light up my own. Like I assume so I have something that can take video. My body camera. I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna like turn that on and send the feed to Nolvath.
Okay.
So that Nolvath can see I'm creeping up on their location.
Okay.
And for a reason.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Because I can't see Evody yet, right?
No.
I just know I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Road, you're still behind
Blaster out.
Alistair?
Going
Okay.
where Alistair's going.
Okay, and Lawrence.
Depending on how far they are from where I came in,
I mean,
it'll take me
probably
a little while to
super
get.
far. I feel like there's like, kind of where the section of the
Yeah, you were
biome
there.
where Evody
Okay.
is, so you probably entered fairly close.
Okay, so
You are not stealthy though.
no, completely not. Like
Yeah.
he's coming here to murder.
Yeah.
But probably would know enough to use your video feed.
Yeah.
Are you sending it to everybody or just?
Oh
to
yeah, I
Nolvath?
think it would just go to everyone.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
I'm
Live streaming to the group chat.
live stream to the group chat.
So he probably specifically tries to come from a different angle.
Mhm.
So he's making a lot of noise and like crashing through trees and underbrush and tearing up nature,
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The whole Jurassic Park when the raptors are eating and you don't see them the first time and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
all the
yeah,
bushes getting wrecked.
Okay.
Like that's Lawrence charging through.
Okay. And the temperature is like dropping drastically and very dramatically too.
Oh,
Good.
So
Terrifying.
They did set it to like a non-lethal
yes,
temperature
yes.
for
you said winter
this
mode,
crew.
so I didn't think
Yeah.
it was like yeah. I mean,
As
it's,
low as I could make it
Yeah.
without harming my friends.
yeah. I mean, it's probably like snow temperatures. So
Yeah,
like, like low 30s
Yeah.
Fahrenheit for those of us in America.
Mm.
Look, you could just put food outside and that. So yeah, refrigerator temperature.
Yeah.
That's kind
It's
of
gonna be not fun, but less fun for them.
Yeah, not lethal immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Nolvath, you feel like a twap 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 against your new armor,
Uh-huh.
and like they're little spines but they're not. They probably don't really pick like
At this
like,
point,
actually,
probably no. They probably just bounce off.
Yeah.
I mean, well, maybe they wouldn't be camouflage. There's a lot of things going on. I think when Alistair sends them that video feed, they immediately like security lock down the terminal.
Okay.
And so when that happens, they just go invisible
Okay.
and start to move towards some cover.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think at that point, like from like some of the brush and trees, Evody kind of just like steps out and like sits down.
Gun out.
Oh, like unaware that I'm creeping up on them?
No,
or-
giving up.
Oh.
Then they just sit down and they're like,
Yeah, fair.
then we'll all die together. And like
Yeah.
Jonas on the bridge, you see a bunch of Fijian ships like pop in.
Okay.
Like, and so they're,
Jump in.
yeah, and like they're the small ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's clear like Avodi was like, hey, we're here, come fucking get us in his mind.
They're the smaller fighters?
Yeah. They're not, it's not the big, I mean, you know it's somewhere,
Yeah.
but it's not that one yet.
Okay.
And then he just like, he sits down, or they sit down.
I say, well, you're gonna die first. And pull the trigger.
Oh, you just murder him?
Yeah.
Okay, market condition for that.
Holy shit.
Wow.
And
How about disillusioned?
yeah, okay. Yeah, and I guess we'll end right there for this
Holy
week.
shit.
Okay. Fun times, fun times.
A wedding and a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. This has been session 17 of Outrunners, a Starscape actual play on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. We will be back next week on Monday, I think, for our final session for this campaign.
Ooh.
So don't miss that. Or if you just are tuning in, maybe wait and like catch up and then watch it. And we're going to do our end of session moves right now. Thank you, chat.
Holy
So,
shit.
yeah, personal directives.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. What's yours?
Ask Lawrence what he wants to do after we're not running for our lives if we live that long.
Nice. Okay, good job. Did anyone else? Oh,
Talk with Alistair about the duration of our contract.
Yeah.
excellent. Very good.
I actually trained telepathy this time.
You did. Yes, very
the
nice.
stat that I used.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make one.
Okay.
And I made mine.
Okay.
Specifically, talk to the couples about why.
Why are you doing
Why are you doing this?
So good. Okay. Very nice. So yeah, we will be back next Monday. Same Starscape time, same Starscape channel. It was going to be super cool if I said it right, but I didn't. I've been Kimmy. I've been your GM. You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl on everything. You can find my games at goldenlassogames.com. And I am Happy Jacks. I do Happy Jacks. So let's go this way.
Aha.
California David.
Terrifying.
Hi, everybody. I'm CADave. I am both excited and sad for whatever will be the ending of this story. But you can find me back here next week to do that. I will not be streaming tomorrow night for video game purposes because tomorrow night's a very important day. And for the love of Pete, go out and vote
Yes.
Do it.
if you
Vote.
haven't already.
Yep.
And I will be sitting around as an old politics nerd, watching every possible
Yeah.
stream and take
Yeah.
on everything
Same.
to see how things are happening. So yeah.
Ah.
And you thought the end of the story was stressful. All right.
Yeah. Howdy, everybody. I'm Jay, and I play Jonas. You can find me on Instagram at Transplantation and at JAfrica, pretty much anywhere else. And yeah, I think I'm not gonna like promote anything today.
Okay.
Just get out, vote.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
My name's Jason. I play Alistair Ward, both he, him. You can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky at It's Probably Okay, on Instagram as Probably Okay Games with underscores between the words, and probablyokgames.com, home of the okayest games around.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. You can find me everywhere as a Stylevan Ladris. You can find me, like all of these wonderful people, staring into the void tomorrow. And please go vote. And that's all I'm going to plug. Go follow me other places and enjoy the finale next week.
Well, you know what? Also, I'm probably going to be doing a comfort stream tomorrow night as we're waiting and need things to ignore. So come on by.
And hey, everybody, I'm Sam. You can find me on the internets at Red Pandroid and back on this game doing the weird stuff in space with weird aliens. Like everybody else said, please go vote tomorrow. And if you need a distraction and or a reward for doing that, you might want to treat yourself if you're over the age of 18 and so inclined with some books by my friend Sophia Hellstaff, who writes spicy monster romance. It's a good thing to read when you're stressed. So you can find two books about sexy shadow demons on the internet, or soon you'll be able to buy shiny stickers. Very shiny,
Very good.
monster smut stickers on a big skull.
Nice.
So treat yourself, be nice to yourself after a stressful day tomorrow.
Yeah. So maybe the next edition with like telepopenis? What do you say?
Telepenis.
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Remote access and control.
That's what we were practicing when we were trying to make Emody not listen to us.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
all right.
Telepathy.
Thanks, everyone. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.